Good morning, friends, and good evening for the day. Welcome to the Season 2 revision classes. We have done part 1 about the practical aspects, and then I discuss about the plan of action. And today, after the conclusion of the batch, we'll be going through the revision. And we'll be starting with the most important subject of the chartered accountancy course called accounting group 1. So today I'll be taking from 3 to 6 and tomorrow 10 a.m. to 2:15 with a 15 minutes break. The plan of action is like this. We have already done the revision as far as practicals are concerned, which is available in the public YouTube live, which I'll be sharing with you shortly if some of you are not attended. And today, tomorrow, we'll be spending more time on account standards. So the conceptual understanding of account standards required for Group 1 as well as Group 2. And in Group 1, we have limited account standards that we'll be discussing elaboratively. And obviously, I'll brush through other topics also, which we have already done in our Season 1 revision. So I think 31st December 22, we did that. I'll be sharing that session. Okay. All of you ready?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
You have not had very heavy lunch. Did you have very heavy lunch?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, as all of you are aware, first question of accounts 1 and accounts 2 is on accounting standards. First question. It is a compulsory question. In between, other questions also will have accounting standard impact. And also Group 2, last question also will have at least 2 to 3 out of 5 accounting standard questions. So being the master of accounting standard is crucial. Then when you come to CA final, you do not have anything related to accounting standards. You have got everything related to accounting standards. So entire syllabus is accounting standard in a different avatar called IND-AS. What, Ravish? Yes. Okay. Indian account standard. It's okay. You're old batch student, doesn't matter. Smile, ma. Yeah, it's okay. When you come to CFR, you'll become new batch, no? That is the fact of life. You should accept it. Yes, till yesterday you are new, so now you have become old, isn't it? Okay. Fact of life. It's okay. When you come to CFR, you'll all become new batch again. Okay. And after becoming CA, you are fresh chart accountant ever. Okay. Now, what is an accounting standards? Okay. Arshita Bhatt. You are the best example. Speak in Tulu without grammar. You just speak. Something you speak in Tulu. Whatever you one reasonably.
Barpe.
Barpe sentence.
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Tulu alpa. Tulu patirde. Tulu patirda. Ik madme atna.
Iji.
Okay. Madme panina.
Sir, I don't know what you say.
I know. So next, Tamil make an English statement. Tamil make a statement without grammar. Lipika, make a statement in Tamil without grammar. Okay. So my studies and marriage will happen parallelly. Anta. That's Tamil. And Malayalam, Anjana, yeah, you make one statement in Malayalam without grammar. You say, I am going to get married to a Portuguese Malayalam. In Malayalam, we say.
What should I say, sir?
Anjana, the Anjana, is getting married to Portuguese in Malayalam style.
And Kalyanam Portuguese
that's okay, right. Next, Purti beer. Kannadadalli statement madamma. Ondu vakya madu without grammar.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ.
Without grammar. Without grammar. Make a statement without grammar. Ravish, hello.
Ravish, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
Ravish ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
Not possible, sir.
Ravish ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. Okay, right. ಇನ್ನು ತೆಲುಗು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ತೆಲುಗು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ತೆಲುಗುಲು ಇದಾರಲ್ವಾ? ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ತೆಲುಗು. Okay, ಗೂಬೆ ಇದಲ್ಲ. ಗೂಬೆ ರಾಜ. Make a statement in Telugu without you are not reached home. ನೋಡಿ 3 ಗಂಟೆ ಸೆಷನ್ 2 ಮುಕ್ಕಾಲು ಅಲಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೇಳೋ, ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ.
ಋತ್ವಿಕ್ ಪೇರು ನೇನು ತೆಲೀದು.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. Now if you observe, you cannot imagine a language without grammar. Language is limited to certain areas or community or people. Maybe I can speak with Lipika with Tulu. Say Chaitra can speak in Kannada with the Guru. Then Suti can speak in Malayalam with the Anjana. Something like that. Whereas accounting is the language of business. Whether you are in Bangalore, whether you are in Mangalore, whether you are in Pina, whether you are in Kenya, whether you are in Yalanka, whether you are in Sri Lanka, whether you are in Kengeri, whether you are in Hungary, language of the business should be same. So you cannot say, sir, I follow different language as far as Hungary is concerned, and Kengeri I follow different. It's not possible, Sagar. So that is why at the international level, long ago, decades ago, we had IASC, International Accounting Standard Committee, which used to issue IAS, International Accounting Standards, which is supposed to be recommendatory or suggestive in nature for the countries across the globe. So obviously the world was not very small earlier. Now because the technology world has become small. Earlier, so people used to run, your phone came from what you called, even if the phone came, trunk call came, people used to run and wait for the call. Today, everything, okay, Skype, WhatsApp down, everything is happening just like this. So IASC was focusing on accounting, international accounting. Then they realized, no, accounting in your second PU failed student also can do it. We being the corporate people, we being the chartered account community, we are the certified accountant, okay, we need to do a better job. Then they moved on from accounting to more of reporting. CA final, first subject, financial reporting. Subject is financial reporting. So they said, let us go on towards reporting. That's why in 2001, 21 years back, if you can recall, now we are in 2022, okay, 22 years back, 2023 alva, 2023, almost 22 years back. So 2001, they revamped and reconstituted IASB instead of IASC, International Accounting Standard Committee. They didn't have a commitment, Divya. That's why what they said, let us go for board, International Accounting Standard Board, which has been vested with the powers, concentrate fully focused on revision class. So vested with the powers of framing IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. International Financial Reporting Standards. Obviously, more excitement. So they said, hey, 5-6 years will revamp everything. So we also said, India also said 2011 will follow IFRS. Across the globe, they expected. Then they realized we are all like students only. We decide to read at the beginning everything, but at the end, everything will be left behind at the end also. Public program. So most of us, all of us are, at least you are a little better compared to others also. But nevertheless, it is not the best. So IFRS also, they could not. Then finally, so in 2016, India said, okay, we'll try to follow that. Even today, IFRS, all the IAS which were supposed to be replaced has not been replaced. They are still doing it. Fine. So as of now, at international level, 2 RMRs. We have IAS, which are not yet changed into IFRS, or they would have thought these IAS need not be changed as of now at least. They are almost suiting the present requirement. Second one, the revamped one, whichever has been changed, IFRS. Okay, so at international level, we have 2 categories, IAS and what? IFRS. International Account Standard, IFRS. So read ulta. Whatever has been changed into the to suit the today's requirement, they are called IFRS. Full form?
Financial reporting
standards.
Those which could not be changed, they continue to be with the erstwhile, whatever was there earlier, called IAS. Fine? Yes. Now, CA final will be discussing all this in detail. Here is just a touching reference. Now, when they gave the IFRS number, they said IFRS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. There is a case where, now if you look at IFRS 3, and IFRS 3 is what? Business combinations. So no doubt IAS 3 has been omitted. They could have called this also as what? IFRS 3 or India's 3, whatever. But when it came to the Indian law, initially we said we will introduce IFRS as it is. Then we realized, no. Indian law perfectly may not match with the IFRS requirement, or IFRS may not suit the requirement of Indian law. For example, at international level, we have two categories of expenditure. Revenue expenditure, debit to your mouth, P&L account, and capital expenditure, take it to balance sheet. Chikkid Pani Puri, okay. Revenue expenditure debited to P&L account, capital expenditure capitalized, balance sheet. But in India, 35D, anybody? What is section 35D in income tax act?
Capital.
35D in income tax act. 35D. Yeah. Preliminary expenses, 1/5 of the same, okay, shall be allowed. Atava 3619, adadu gottirbekkalla.
Family
Family
planning.
planning.
Family
planning of.
So, family planning, Aditi, of a company, okay. CapEx, how much they allow? 150 is allowed. How much is allowed? 1/5. So, pre-construction period interest. So, explanation bar proviso below 24. That is also allowed over 5 years. That means under income tax law, we have some provisions where there is a concept called third category coming to picture. Revenue capital, deferred revenue expenditure. The benefit which can be spread for more than 1 year. IFRS says nothing, either P&L or balance sheet, no beach category. Now, income tax law says something. Some other law also have a similar provision. They said, so we cannot introduce IFRS as such. That is why in India, we said we cannot follow IFRS. We will borrow IFRS, change according to the requirement of India. So that is called Ind AS. Don't say Ind AS. One of my students was the interviewer, chartered accountant after 5 to 10 years of practice. He called me, sir, I have got some resume of new CA cap sites, and they're talking about something like Ind AS. What is Ind AS, sir? I have not heard this. Then I changed from that day. It's not Ind AS. Just for fun, I used to say it is Ind AS. Indian Accounting Standards. Okay. Something like Valentine's Day yesterday we used to call, but Ravish gives a different name. It's a love day, sir. We should celebrate as a love day. Alwa. So different people have different perspective. Last year. Right. Yeah. Valentine's Day bere, love day bere, love night bere. Right. So when you talk about the India's IFRS, at international level we have IAS and IFRS. In India, we are not applying IFRS as such. We wanted to borrow IFRS, slight alteration we do, that altered IFRS is called India's CA final syllabus. Now you may be wondering, sir, you are telling CA final, why are you discussing intern? Come closer. Come closer. Have you heard of Microsoft Control-C, Control-V?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Copy paste joke I told you.
Paste.
Copy paste. So don't tell anyone. Majority of the account starts of ES, ICA are nothing but copy paste of IAS and IFRS. So that's why you should know history, because history repeats from where we are having, from where you got this, sir. So Bab kaun hai? AS ka Bab kaun hai? International standards. Copy karke thoda we have done some, okay, miss masala. Okay. So at international level, sit concentrate. And there, this is also part of your syllabus as well. Introduction is concerned. What is the IFRS India's syllabus? Intermediate. So at international level, we have IASB now, which promulgates IFRS, which has not yet replaced. They are called IAS, issued by S2N IASC. In India, two big grammars: accounts, tax. Let us finish tax. We have finished no yesterday. I have completed. You have finished on something. So 145 subsection 2. Every SSE who is following accrual method of accounting, business income or other source, must follow ICDS, income computation and disclosure standards. So they are similar to EAS. That's why I didn't go in detail. Okay. So if you understand EAS today, tomorrow, it's nothing but ICDS. ISDS Roman number 1 to IS Roman number 10. There's something similar. For example, inventory valuation. ES2 or ICDS Roman number 2. Almost similar. Cost or NRV, whichever is less. Samajh mein aa raha hai, baba? Fine. So income tax standards are must. Aditi Bangle Stores. She follows accrual method. Compulsorily she has to follow. I see, sir, her turnover 100 lakh 20. Bad mein gaya. Is she a businesswoman? Yes. Prithviraj Limited is a company. Is he having a business? Is he having a other source? They must follow ICDS for business income and other source. If they do not follow, there will be a best judgment assessment under section 144, which is the worst form of assessment for the SSCs. Are you understanding? So in India, under income tax, we have ICDS, Chaitanya, Income Computation and Disclosure Standards. How do you compute and how do you present? You must follow only for two SSCs, business SSCs and other source. That too, if you follow method of accounting, not for what? Deepika? Mercantile method of accounting. Registered properly. Right. Now come to left side, accounts. Accounts, two RMRs. Companies, non-corporates. Non-corporates, we have ICS standards. Our beloved Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, 21st April 1977, Accounting Standard Board was set up and they issue the standard which are applicable to all of us. So which are non-corporate. Lasya, Panipuri, Sai Rishika, Panbida, all these small businesses which are not corporate, they must follow this. They have to follow this ICS standard. If it is a company, two RMRs. Big Mota Bhai, Chota Bhai. Mota Bhai, Chota Bhai. Big company, Bada hai to behetar hai. If you are a big company, what big company? How do you decide big? There is some parameter of net worth as on the 31st March. If it is more than 500 crore, if you are a listed company, etc., they must go for India's CA final syllabus. All other companies, that means company which is not a big company, which doesn't follow Fatima, no, India's, they must follow company law standards. They must follow what? Company law standards. Confused pannitangala, don't worry. In India, we have companies, non-corporates. Non-corporate should follow ICS standards. Companies, two RMRs. Big companies, India's, out of syllabus for you, intermediate. Small companies should follow company law standards. So company law itself has issued standards. Come closer. Come closer. Again, company law people have just copied and pasted ICS standards. Don't tell anyone. Okay. So whatever ICS standards, they have made it as what? Company law standards. So that means what you are learning is ICS standard applicable to all non-corporates and chota mota companies. So whatever we are discussing as ICS standard 1 to 29 applicable to all the non-corporate entities and chota mota companies. Understood the introduction? Enjoying?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir?
Correct. That's the expression. I like it. Is it boring? You said, boring and correct. I like it. Very good. Expression. Very good. Okay. Next is Neha. Next point. What are the four guiding principles of account stats? If account stats out of order, it is like a theory is chiller, practical is chiller, valuation is like a maths. Andre, correct to the point theory, to the point problem, out of order, 20 out of 20. But you should use the right word in the right context. You buy nimkushi bandagala words use banangila. So you need to use the right word in the right context. So four important principles of account stats. Yaude stat todi. They must fall under four categories. Either all of them in one or some here, some there. RMPD. Recognition, measurement, presentation, disclosure. Almost the same order. Recognition, measurement, presentation, disclosure. Now, I'm sure all of you have by-hearted the account standard numbers. I have told you from the beginning of the batch. All of you know. Yes, 9.
Revenue recognition.
So, to make your life easy, theory question, recognition, revenue recognition, measurement, yes, you may not have a standard which specifically titled measurement. When I go to IFRS, India's 113, IFRS 13, fair value measurement length ಇದೆ. ಹೆಸರು name itself called fair value measurement. Here, measurement of the inventory. How do you measure something? We'll discuss. So recognition, measurement, disc presentation. On the face of the P&L, bottom in the P&L, what do you write? P&L statement of a company. Part 2.
Company was in.
End ಅಲ್ಲಿ what do you write? Okay, top ಅಲ್ಲಿ what do you write? P&L ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
For the year ending.
P&L top ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತೀರಪ್ಪ? Company. I'm talking about a company. Note revenue,
from operation.
other income, total expenditure. Difference is PBET, blah blah blah. What do you end with, Kanda?
Earnings per share.
Earnings per share, basic daily.
Earning per share. Your YouTube recording ಎಲ್ಲ stop ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ stay back ಮಾಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ capsites. Okay, right. You public live ಅಲ್ವಾ? I'm not able to convey something which I want to convey. Understood? All of you, please stay back. After the YouTube recording is stopped. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. Okay, ठीक है. I'll convey the way it should have been conveyed. Okay, Samita. ಈ ಮನುಷ್ಯಂದು ಪೋತರ ಸಾಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾ. Right. So on the face of the P&L, what we have? ROTE. Then at the end, EPS presentation. How do you present? Earning per share, basic EPS, diluted EPS. Fair enough. Next, disclosure. Tell me the standard which has a name. Disclosure needs S18. ಅಥವಾ S1 first disclosure of accounting policies. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅಥವಾ S18 related party
disclosure.
So make your life easy. Don't unnecessarily all S1 to S29 name you should know. Name only. Presentation means, so you don't have the name, but you should be connected to Schedule 3. Whereas disclosure, name only says disclosure of accounting policy, S18 related party disclosure. Now let me understand what is the meaning of it. Recognition का मतलब क्या है? What is the amount which you take it to the financial statements? So before I continue, what is the definition of account standard by Shetty sir? 5 P's: principles, policies, and practices while preparing and presenting the financial statements. So account standard theory, if they ask, 5 P's. Yaudu? Green peas, kadle, watani, adu barta piece. Adu but adelle kaikal piece madakತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So piece. So principles, policies, and practices while preparing and presenting the financial statements. So while preparing also, you need to consider some account standard. While presenting also, for example, inventory valuation. So you are not starting the financial and then do the valuation. First physically verify करो 31st March को what the stock है, इसका valuation करो, cost measurement करो. How do you measure the cost? Cost of purchase, cost of conversion, other cost. Measure that. Then how do you bring it to the financial? So at the time of preparing accounts also, account standards are important. At the time of presenting the financial statements are important. That's why I said Harshvardhan, preparing and presenting. So principle, policy, and practices while preparing and presenting. Okay, Divya. So while preparing and presenting the financial statements. समझ में आ रहा है सबको?
Yes.
Now let us understand what is recognition. I have sold goods to Ravish on 30th March. I have sent an invoice. Goods have been delivered to him, but he has not paid the money. Goods has not reached him also on 31st March. I am in Bangalore, he is in Kolkata. Now, can I pass a sale entry on 31st March? Should I recognize? So, if the risk has been passed on, as per the agreement, it says, moment the goods are moved out of my godown, it is your responsibility. Whereas if the agreement, if I say specifically, only when the goods reach your godown, so then only risk is passed. Look at the beauty. If the agreement specifically says, I have a risk only till it steps out of my godown, that means you have to pass a sale entry. Recognize on 31st March. Whereas I had told, till it reaches your godown, it's my responsibility. Transporter mein kuch uda ho gaya to I am responsible. That means it's not. So when should I recognize it as a sale? Subject to certain parameters, subject to certain conditions. You need to recognize the revenue. That is the meaning of recognition. Atava. Next, I have some inventory, so which are obsolete, doesn't have any value. let's say old typewriters I have in my godown. Why should I recognize? It doesn't have any value, so you may not recognize. Whereas recently bought laptop, palm top, R top, E top, something technological developed product, do I have to take it as an inventory if I'm a dealer in computer and parts, spare parts? Very much yes. How do you recognize? First one, measurement. How do you measure the inventory? Inventory is measured at a cost. Now, cost of this. Now, look at this. Cloth cost is 300 rupees. Labor cost is 100 rupees. And after stitching, you have kept it in a AC showroom. Rental charges, which are apportioned by using your costing, Aman sir. So, your rental charges, okay, of the showroom. Let's say it comes to 100 rupees. I repeat, material is 300. Labor and manufacturing overhead is 100. Then rental charges of the showroom is 100 till it is being sold. How much is the cost of the inventory? How much I should measure it at? No lip service. Straight away you have to answer. Yeah. Tell me.
500.
500.
Be 400. So the material cost is 300. 100 rupees labor and production overhead I said. Another 100 rupees is the showroom rent. It is selling and distribution overhead. Neither in costing nor in accounts is a part of the cost. Cost of production in the cost sheet. Go back again. Is not included. Selling and distribution overhead. So if you go back by which Ashita, unda shetra, undiya pantine ijanta. You know. So if you go back to the cost sheet, this is the beauty of the CA course. And accounts martarado. So law already touch ಆಯ್ತು ಕಂಪನಿ ಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಾ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ we are going to discuss 129 subsection 3 129 subsection 5 ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಈಗ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಲೇಬರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ದೆನ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ Closing stock is valued at the current year cost of production. इसके बाद आता है general administration overhead and selling and distribution overhead. Connect. So 100 rupees what I referred Kanda at the end is nothing but my selling and distribution overhead. How can it be part of my cost? It should not be. So it should be. So how do you measure? Next, I have purchased the building. Throughout the discussion, I'm a t-shirt dealer. I purchased the building at 300 lakh. Subsequently, market value went up and down. I may not bother. I may measure the same at the initial cost, historical cost. Or I may also go for a revaluation model. So I can also go for a revaluation model. Revaluation model. The video revaluation model, instead of what you call continuing at cost, today what is the market value I will bring. So I can measure either at a cost model or at a revaluation model. How do you measure? Now, why am I spending so much time on the introduction? Subsequently, 80% of the standards will be talking about this zone. I will not be discussing again what is the measurement of cost in inventory, what is the measurement in ES10, So you need to know the concepts. So measurement, recognition, measurement, presentation. As I told you, how do you present your financials? If you look at the format of the company, balance sheet. Sri Rama and Sita necessary for capital. So Rama uses monkeys. Gota. Almost every balance sheet and P&L format contains what? Accounting standard reference. If you want, before we get into the theory, we'll go through it once. Deferred tax liability, ES22. Borrowing cost, ES16. Inventory, ES2. PPE, ES10. Intangible asset, ES26. So
Yes.
all those things. So how do you present and on the face of the balance sheet, on the trade payable? Anybody? On the trade payable.
MS.
Yes. Okay. So the amount payable to micro and small enterprise. Medial and micro and what? Priyanka?
Small.
This presentation on the face of it. Our debtors is aging analysis. How much is outstanding for a period exceeding 6 months from the date it became due? Aging analysis. All these are called presentation. Every account standard you have to connect it to financial statements, balance sheet and P&L. Are you listening?
Yes.
Yeah. The last one is the disclosure. Pradeep, Ravish, Ravish, after having a reasonably good quality time with his girlfriend, including yesterday. Yesterday was this, Ravish? Hello. Love day, whatever. Fine. So after so many months, whatever, finally disclosed. Disclosed. So that girl was okay. So the girl was actually pressurizing him to get married. Finally, Ravish says, "No, I cannot marry you." So she asked, why you cannot marry? Disclose. She says, no, my family members won't accept it. Who are the family members who won't accept it? My wife and 2 kids. So this kind of disclosure, look at this. Now, Deepa, oh, Deepa, yeah. Now this kind of disclosure, at the end, after the train has left, you have taken the ticket, doesn't make any sense. No, that is why right disclosure at the right time. That's why that girl, you should have asked, Ravish, are you married? Are you single? You should not have, he would have said, no, I'm an MBA. Oh, he's an MBA, well qualified. You should not go and propose. Then finally, when MBA, married but available. That is very dangerous proposition. Alva, Ravish. So, disclosure is extremely important. Disclosure is very, very important. So, we need to understand the disclosure part has a huge role in the today's corporate world. Many of the companies have gone. Arthur Andersen has thrown to pieces because of the non-disclosure by the auditors. Enron, okay, case I'm talking about. Because of that, Arthur Andersen pieces because the disclosure was not done. Why disclosure? Number one, the users of the financial statement can make informed judgment. Look at the language. What users of the financial statement can make an informed judgment. He knows, oh, this is what is followed. Second point is, if there are multiple options, how do I know which method you follow? Inventory, you evaluate cost or NRV, or disclose. Now, cash flow statement, is it operating, investing, financing? Disclose. Is it a long-term or current investment? Disclose. Is it operating or financing? Disclose. Is it a mature method of amalgamation purchase? Disclose. How do I know? So the users of the finance statement has to know about it. That's why you have to disclose the method followed so that the users of the financial statement can make an informed judgment. So 4 important guiding principles. Any standard you take, either they will have some of them or all of them. Yes, one may have only disclosure. Yes, 18 may have only disclosure. Yes, 9 has, no, the title says recognition. It has got almost everything. Recognition meant measurement of revenue, inclusive method, exclusive method. 300 lakh plus 18% GST or exclusive. Look at the beauty of connections, sir. Inclusive. So measurement, Sunil, enjoy. So measurement, recognition, measurement, presentation, revenue on the top of the P&L. ROTE, revenue from operation, other income, you should present it. And disclosure. Suppose some revenue you have deferred. You don't want to recognize this year. Why did you defer it? You need to disclose the same. Even though the title says Anjana, almost all. But the inventory valuation, classic example. Title says only valuation. It looks like a measurement. It's a recognition. How much revenue you recognize in the financials? How did you measure the cost? How did you measure the NRV? Then how do you present on the face of the balance sheet? ITC, inventory, trade receivable, cash and cash equivalent. Disclosure of the same in notes to account. Inventory 300 lakh consists of raw material how much, work in progress how much, finished goods how much you need to disclose. Understood reasonably?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if possible, all of you can open your CAPS material, regular CAPS material. Next, revision material has been shared to you. 3 revision materials are already shared. Accounts, costing, and law. If some of you have not got, we will be sharing it again in the group. Later on, you can take the printout. CAPS regular material itcodi, revision material itcodi, print side by side. Wherever required, we'll just go through both. Okay. And then ICM metal, I may not, because ICM metal problems are very chiller. Do not read theory from ICM metal. Absolutely not required. Waste of time. Problems may be required, and then you can do it. ICI, some questions I'll be taking up later. All of you ready? So today and tomorrow. And Schedule 6, financial statements, you have to go through once. So before we go to the account start, let's go through Schedule 6 once. All of you ready?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Accounting standards can be as interesting as a income tax. Only thing is you need to connect with the examples. Open up. All of you open your financial statements in your company accounts format. Open. Till then. You're able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you must start with what? Financial statements of a company. If required, once you write the format, even for accounting standards, they're extremely crucial. Sabko samajh mein aa raha hai?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because they're all beautifully connected to various accounting standards. Yes. So any of my new friends are listening, including YouTube viewers. The beautiful format with the beautiful Ramayana. First half of the Ramayana, not touching any religion, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, just to understand the financial statement better. So first half of the Ramayana, a lot of issues, a lot of disturbance. So Sita was kidnapped, then Rama with the help of Rajinikanth, so brings back Sita to India. There's a big Pattabhishekam happening, celebration, blah, blah, blah. So based on that, we have made on format. So the balance sheet format, equity liabilities on the top, assets down. So equity and liabilities, Sri Rama and Sita necessary for capital. So Rama used monkeys. So Rama used what?
Monkey.
Share capital, reserves and surplus, money received against a share warrant. Long and deferred operations with the help of Lakshman. Long and deferred operation with the help of Lakshman. Shortly triumph over Sri Lanka. What we discussed. Am I right? Shortly triumph over Sri Lanka. And this is the full form. Then new life in capital. Peers near and dear ones loved one and all. Citizen insisted test came out Sita with originality. This is the format. Just to recall, I'll just show you the format. So liability suddenly. Equity and liabilities, Sri Rama and Sita necessary for capital. Shareholders funds, share application money pending allotment, non-current liability, current liabilities. Then under shareholders funds, so Rama used monkeys, share capital, reserve surplus, money received against share warrant. Long and deferred operation with the help of Lakshman, shortly triumph over Sri Lanka. So this one is nothing but the same items on both sides. If you recall, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂಜನ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ I kept everything open except financial statement ಅದು ನೋಡಿ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ Now if you look at this deferred tax liabilities deferred tax liability and trade payable, they are the only two exclusive items. They are the only two exclusive items. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Only two trading. Everything else. Okay, you're able to see the screen, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now it's all right on today. Deferred tax liabilities and trade payable are the only two items which are exclusive non-current and exclusive current. Everything else, we are connected so beautifully in our regular class. Long-term borrowings, short-term borrowings. Other long-term liabilities, other current liabilities. Long-term provisions, short-term provisions. All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You also written in a regular notes and note coding. So Sri Rama and Sita necessary for capital. So Rama used monkeys. Long and deferred operation with their Lakshman shortly triumph over Sri Lanka. So these three items you by heart. Here deferred tax liability is always non-current and trade payable is always current. Everything else. So what are the standards you can connect? Deferred tax liabilities.
22.
22.
Then provisions.
29.
Look at the screen and tell me. Don't look at your material and tell me, because material is already written. I know that. Doesn't make sense. Next, short-term borrowings.
16.
16.
16 directly connected. Next, short-term provisions.
29.
29.
So Sri Ram and Sita necessary for capital. So all this. Then they won the war and they came. New life in capital. New life in capital. So when they came back, when Rama came, with a huge celebration. Peers, Sopala, friends, peers are the friends, near and dear ones, loved one and all. But when LBM doubted the character of Sita Mata, that's why citizen insisted test came out Sita with originality. Now, if you look at this, PP, all these items are compulsorily non-current. Deferred tax is compulsory non-current. ITC is compulsorily current.
Yes,
So,
sir.
then deferred tax asset is always non-current. ITC is always current. Everything else can be current or non-current. So non-current investments, current investments. Long-term loans and advances. Then
Loans and advances.
other non-current assets, other current assets. Easily, but on the assets side, we have a lot of standards. PP, account standard number,
Yes, sir.
10.
Yes, 10. Then capital work in progress.
10.
10.
10 only. Then the inventory, sorry, intangible assets.
26.
26.
26.
So this one, how do you remember? Picky. Pirki alla, adu ande pirki. PIC. Picky. Tikki puri anta. PP, intangible asset, capital work in progress. And again, meticulously perfect. 100 out of 100 per accounts. People have got, you should get it. So PP matte capital work in progress connection. PP is already ready. Capital work in progress, capital expenditure work in progress, like building under construction, machinery under construction, Ravi's 3 months, whatever. Next, intangible assets and capital asset under development, patent development, know-how development. These 4. Then investments standard, quick.
13.
13.
Deferred tax, quick.
22.
Next, investments again.
13.
2.
Cash and cash equivalent.
3.
You can understand how many standards are connected to the financial. Prati question bandara, you are connected to the financial. Group 1 or group 2, doesn't matter. Then anything which is more than 12 months is normally non-current. Anything less than or equal to 12 months is called current. Then comes P&L. खाने के लिए क्या चाहिए आपको?
Roti.
But ಈ ಬಿಸಿಲಿಗೆ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ರಗಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೋಟೆ ಲೋಟೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಚುಂಬು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ. ರೋಟೆ ಲಾಸ್ಯಾ ನಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ 40 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಈ ವರ್ಷ. ಸೊ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ರೋಟೆ, ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಅದರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ expenditure. So again, that format also you need to religiously follow. Okay, so rotate, continuing operations, then discontinue. ROT, here these items also CPC, NPD CPC, Then
Yes, sir. You have DO.
CPC is cost of metal consumed. Raw metal stock will be adjusted here only. Purchase of stock in separately. You will see changes in other inventory. Focus here. Raw material opening and closing stock. Deepa illi barutte. First settle barutte. Whereas WIP change, finished goods change. All CL barutte. Opening minus closing. Plus adre. Plus anta bariyadu. Minus adre. Minus anta. Aste. Matte see again. Sorry, ಇದು ಏನು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಬಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಟ್ರೇಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್, ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್, ವೇಜಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Then salary is the first item in P&L. That's why employee benefit expense. Then comes your finance cost. Then depreciation and amortization. Depreciation is for tangible, amortization for intangible, other expenses. Idu bari. Next, what you get? PBET. Example, joke, Nenepidia, Rutvik. All of you are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Airport. So one beautiful, gorgeously beautiful lady putting the coin, checking her weight, removing one by one, hat first, muffler first, etc. Then Ritik says, "Madam, if you do not have a coin, I will give you the coin. Carry on." Fine. I'm sure. So dirty people are able to recall well and you are able to enjoy well. So life is at the beauty when you have a dirty mind. No, I know. So imagination powers are awesome. Really. So continuing operations. Then you are supposed to start with what? ROTE, revenue from operation, other income total. Then expenditure will give you PBEET. Keep removing exceptional, extraordinary, tax, profit after tax. Discontinuing operations, like Wipro has discontinued their non-software division. Group 1 or Group 2. Balance sheet, Group 1, Group 2. Then discontinuing operation in profit or loss minus money. Finally, the total profit. Then show how much is the EPS, earning per share is to basic and diluted. Now connected account stand here na?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Revenue from operation and other income and total.
Yes, 9.
Ali revenue from operation, other income, total income agide. One total revenue it. The total income and the change agide. You have to make it. All of them are AS9. Then comes inventory related. First 3. Yes, sir.
2.
Employee benefit expense.
Yes, 15. 16.
16. Depreciation is 10.
And
Amortization
And 26.
26. Exceptional item. No standard. Very good. No standard. Extraordinary item.
No.
5. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ನೋ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂಜನಾಸ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ನೋ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡ ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಎಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಏನು ಆತರ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್
22.
ಈಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಈಗ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ EMT ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ EMT ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡೆಫರ್ಡ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ 24. Excellent, very proud. So even though you think you don't know, but you know reasonably, but that is not enough for me. I wanted you to know everything. EPS
20.
20.
format of the P&L, wrote a with the disclosure, etc. Ready, all of you?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
With this, let us move on to the account standard revision material. Exhaustive material open it. So the general touch ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, then we'll directly move on to account standards. Revision material ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, but exhaustive class material ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. Almost everything covered here. This is a revision material theory which has been shared. ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 83102 ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ, we'll share. It is freely available. Caps, non-caps doesn't matter. BSCA contribute to India's development. We will be happy. Full twist ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. Okay. This is an introduction. So definition of accounting, RCSI, types of accounts. I'm sure all of you know. Personal account, real account, nominal account. Nominal account is for revenue transaction, goes to P&L. Real account is always for assets. Personal account can be asset ಅಥವಾ liability. It is debit what comes in, credit what goes out ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅದೊಂದು ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ. This is a beautiful balance sheet. N number of times we will discuss. Go through again. All real account will come on the asset side. All nominal account will appear in the P&L account. Some personal account on the asset side. Some personal account on the liability side. All capital transaction in the balance sheet. All revenue transaction in the P&L.
Yeah.
All debit balance will appear on the asset side or expenditure side. All credit balance will appear on the liability side or income side. Expense outstanding is a liability, income outstanding is the asset. NPDA?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Start 1, 2, 3. Accounting standards.
Accounting standard.
Read.
Okay. Two arrow marks. Left side accounts. Under that, two arrow marks. International level, IFRS.
Issued issued before 2001. Continuing as such on the purpose. Right.
Right side, IFRS issued by newly formed IASB after 2001. Till date, 1 to 17 are issued.
So IFRS are 1 to 17. Next, come to India. Different ink highlight ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Read right now. So only after the class you should be spending time only for problems. Theory spot alle ಮುಗಿಸಬೇಕು today and tomorrow. Yeah.
Under India, two arrow marks. Left hand side, companies. Under that, two arrow marks. For big companies, say net worth greater than or equal to 500 crore, listed company, banking, insurance, Ind AS. Till date, 1 to 14 Ind AS, 41, sorry. Till date, 1 to 41 Ind AS, 107 to 117 issued. B. Other companies.
Till date 1 to 41 and 101 to 117. Again, there are two set of standards. IFRS numbers here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 17. But the old number IAS is. For example, IFRS 2 is share based payment. IAS 2 inventory valuation is. So now IFRS with IAS merge ಮಾಡಿ we made as Ind AS. ಈಗ IFRS 2 ಮತ್ತು IAS 2 ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ನಂಬರ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕೊಡೋದು? Then they said do one thing. All IFRS series you add under it. IFRS 1 to 17 are called IFRS 101 to 117 in India. Well, IAS numbers 1 to 41 are called Ind AS 1 to 41. Artha agilla. I'll clarify once more. Chaitanya. At international level, I said there are two set of standards. One is IFRS numbers 1 to 17. IAS 1 to 41. Now there are two standards. Let us say you take an example of 2. IAS 2 nu ide, IFRS 2 nu ide. Ind AS alli ಏನು ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಡೋದು? That's why IFRS ಗೆ they added 100. IFRS 1 means Ind AS 101. IFRS 2 means Ind AS 102. But IAS as it is they maintain. So there at least you can say IAS 2, IFRS 2. Illi Ind AS 2 ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದು? IFRS 2 is share based payment. In India we call it Ind AS 102 is share based payment. IAS 2 is inventory valuation. Ind AS 2 is called inventory valuation. Explain what I say, Harshavardhan.
Yes, sir. So in IFRS and IAS,
Mute. Yeah, Harshita, explain. Shima, explain.
Okay. So IFRS being the international standards, so they have given the numbers 1 to 17. But now when we incorporated it in India, we just added 100. So for example, IFRS 1, here in India, it is Ind AS 101. If it is 2, here it is 102.
Whereas IAS, which is also existing, IAS 2, we call it Ind AS 2. We don't say 100. Otherwise, Ind AS 2 is whether IAS 2 or IFRS 2 will have a confusion. Understood all of you?
Yes.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೆಳಗಿದೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಏನಂತ ಬರಿ IFRS 2 one 5 mark general question they can ask in group 1 or group 2. First 1.5 hour discussion is for both group 1 and group 2. Then exclusively group 1. IFRS 2 is equal to Ind AS 102. Ind AS 102 share based payment. Next, IAS 2 is equal to
India's
Days.
Yes.
India's 2 inventory valuation. The valuation of inventories. Eldrick ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? All of you understood, Baba?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Beautifully understood.
Yes,
So
yes,
for
sir.
big companies, we have India's 1 to 41, and India's leave till date India's India's ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಮ್ಮ 1 to 41, and India's 101 to 117. That's called as B. Now other companies, compel standards called as C. Non-corporates like partnership, etc. ICA stand 1 to 29, 6 and 8 excluded, except Allah excluded. 6 and 8 omitted now. They are not there. 1 to 29, 6 and 8 omitted. D. Now there is a beautiful connection here. Completely right side. Income tax. Odama.
In completely right side, income tax under section 145(2), business assessee bar IFRS must follow ICDS, income computation and disclosure standards 1 to 10 under accrual method, similar to ICAI standards E.
So now there take a green ink. C is equal to D is equal to E. It is a box. My syllabus. Yaru my andre?
Anu.
So compel law standards ಗೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾನ್ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಗೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಗೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಳಗೆ ಓದಮ್ಮ ಅಕ್ಕ. B is equal to
B is equal to almost 95% of IFRS A.
Beautiful chart. Is a complete clarity sigಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ standards under the sky. It's almost like IFRS. So tomorrow when you complete CFL, somewhere if you get a job in IFRS, you should accept it because India's is nothing but IFRS. Almost 95% plus.
Plus carbon additional points of India minus carve out mandatory bar optional, that is elimination of policy choices.
Close the bracket. So all of you get me and visualize. 2 RMRs. Income tax. ICDS only for equal method of accounting. Everybody should follow. Company non-corporate tigal katta ಏನilla. Left side accounts 2 RMRs. International India. International level we have IFRS and IAS. We have that is A. In India 2 RMRs. Companies non-corporates. Companies again 2 RMRs. Big corporate, non-corporate, small corporate. Big corporate B. India's. India's is almost like A, plus some additional points carve in, minus additional certain points you have to deviate, carve out. Something extra nandilidli anta helodu, that's called carve in. Something you deviate is called carve out. This A and B is a CA final syllabus. Understood? Then if you are a small company, compel of standards, ditto ICS standards, ditto ICDS, almost same. So almost same. This is your syllabus. Any confusion till now about any topic we discuss? Full Josh, you are able to catch?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How is the Josh?
Hi,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Hi, sir.
Hi, sir. Jaraga Josh ale.
Hi, sir.
Sir.
Akka odaka.
Yes, sir. Accounting standards refers to principles, policies, practices followed in preparing and presenting the financial statements of an entity, the 5 P's. It deals with recognition, measurement, presentation, and disclosure, RMPD. The objectives of AS are comparability, uniformity, disclosure, measurement, or recognition, and to bring world economy under one system. The company law standards are applicable to all companies commencing from the accounting period on or after December 7, 2006. Responsibility of complying with banks on company.
Odisha. Responsibility of complying with the banks on. Andre idu bank alla. Odisha like ನೀವು banking company ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬೇಡ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. So I bank upon this person andre I trust anta. Responsibility of compliance with the responsibility of complying with the accounting standard is on a company section 129 talks about financial statement. 133 says every company must follow account standards.
B, non-company, auditor and auditee for tax audit cases, ICAI standards. All assessees, company and non-company, except non-tax audit cases of individuals and HUF to follow ICDS while computing business income and IFRS under accrual method.
Everybody must follow income tax option illa. In company ago non-company ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ICDS ಪದ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಈಗ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಜನರಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಇದೆ. 99% they may not ask, but still if you want one general format, any law if it has to come into force, in ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಈಗ GST ಬಂತು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ make the law and implement that. First they draft, issue to the public opinion, take expert opinion, review it, then final again one more review ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, then they issue. Same thing in the ICAI also, they will draft ಅನ್ನ public opinion ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. You can like see new scheme of education ಏನೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ ಬಾಪ್ಕ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಎ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್. ಸೊ ಅದರ ತರ ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇದೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಗ್ರೂಪ್, ಈಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಕಮ್, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ವ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಡೀಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಮುನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಲಾ ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್, ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, modify if it suits the requirement, then issue the accounting standards. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
INDAS andre within the bracket Indian Accounting Standards.
INDAS, that is Indian Accounting Standards, globalization of the business world, the attendant structures and regulations and development of the e-commerce is imperative to have a single globally accounting system. Various multinational companies are establishing their businesses in various countries with emerging economies, which has increased the access to global markets. More and more Indian companies are listed in overseas stock exchanges. The use of different accounting frameworks in different countries creates the confusion for the users of financial statements.
So INDAS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ Y ಅಂತ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ INDAS ಬೇಕು? Because the world is becoming very small. Multinational companies are getting set up everywhere in the world. The listing is happening in all the stock exchanges throughout the world. If you got different accounting policies, too much confusion. That's why INDAS. Thus,
the case for single set of globally accepted accounting standards has prompted many countries to pursue convergence of national accounting standards with IFRS.
Convergence andre bringing that IFRS into Indian level and making it suitable to India's requirement. Convergence. Next.
INDAS are converged form of IFRS. INDAS 1 to INDAS 41 and INDAS 101 to INDAS 117.
So this is the carve out and carve on ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು 5 marks. Accounts ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, auditing ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, even law ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. Be careful. Yes.
Carve out and carve in. The difference between INDAS and IFRS.
INDAS ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? I capital and ND small. INDAS. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. INDAS and IFRS can be classified into
2 arrow marks. Left hand side, carve out. Under that 2 arrow marks, A, mandatory, compulsory deviation from IFRS.
Example. Sorry, 5 marks theory might be asked. Example, and the theory fully focus in the class. Whatever you are learning, that itself is enough. Only problems also I'll be solving this batch. Some more problems in practice, in and out of account standard. So, and target is 100. Accounts 100 is easily scoreable. Example, IFRS requires recomputation of IFRS requires
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಾಳೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇದೆ.
ನಾಳೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಗೆ ನಾಳೆ ಏನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇದೆ ನಾಳೆ?
ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್.
ಅದನ್ನೇನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಹಿಂಗಿಲ್ವಾ?
ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇವತ್ತೊಂದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಏರಿಯಾ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ದಟ್. ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ 17th 18 19 20 ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಏರಿಯಾ ನಾವು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಕಡೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಇರೋರು ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ಆಪ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ 9:30 9:41 ಶಾರ್ಟ್ 15 minutes ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. CF ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಈಗ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, IFRS requires IFRS requires recomputation of opening WDV of PPE. Opening WDV of
PP.
semicolon. But Ind AS says, Ind AS 101. Ind AS says, consider closing WDV of the last year as per the old standards itself as opening deemed cost. Opening deemed cost. What did you understand? IFRS says for all the assets you redo, there's a calculation mechanism. Think of a company like BHEL, BEL, and all the machinery. If I keep on doing redo, but you can do a agrutte. Adukoskara, they say, okay, this is impossible situation. Whatever the closing W, just take it and close it. So it's a mandatory deviation from the account style. So mandatory come out. Next, Odama, Aka, Waka.
Next, B, optional. Elimination of policy choices. Here, adopt only one or some options given in IFRS and don't give all the options of IFRS. Hence, it is still IFRS compliant.
So when Ritvik has to get married, there are 3 sisters. So he has to marry one of them, all the 3 girls will be shown, and they said you marry one of them. That's the IFRS says. Whereas when it came to India, Ravi Shen Martane, one of the most beautiful girls on the side, he will show only other 2, will Kalila, will Kaila, or Matra choice. IFRS has given 3 options. Even when it came to India, Ravi opened side computer. So other 2 he'll be given a choice. It looks funny, but it's actually a perfect example. IFRS has given all the 3 options, but Ravi Shen on India bandaga one thing that I will look into it in a loud day. So he has taken care of it, and he has given only other 2 options to Ritvik. So in India, out of the 3 options, Harshita Bhatt, hey Harshita Bhatt.
Yes, sir.
Options, go there.
Example, IAS 27, accounting in investment, in subsidiary, joint venture, etc. in standalone financial statements allows 3 options. Say,
Simple agi, IAS 27 allows 3 options. Yavado cost method, fair value, equity method, CFE. But Ind AS allows only C and F, equity method kodadella. What are the choice name kodadella? That means what? See, IFRS has given 3 options. But Ind AS bandaga, they say equity method is not suiting India, let us not give this option. That means you are still within IFRS only. You are not doing something different. Out of the 3, 2 options only given. Nimge an example jokes fun ansibodu, but a perfect example. When it at international level, 3 ಹುಡುಗಿರು ಇದ್ರು ಇವನಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಋತ್ವಿಗೆ. ಬಟ್ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದವನು 1 hour ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನೇ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಓನ್ಲಿ 2 girls only he will be giving offer to ಋತ್ವಿಕ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಬಂದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವನು ಬಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುತ್ತಾಡ್ತಾವನೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ. ನೋಡಿ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾರ ರೆಡಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಹುಡುಗಿ. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ.
completely right side, Carvin. Additional
ಕಾರ್ವಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೀಪ ಏನು ಕರು ಇನ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ದನದೊಳಗೆ. ಕಾರ್ವಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಡಿಷನಲ್, ಕಾರ್ವೌಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್, ಎಡಿಷನಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್.
Additional points given only in Ind AS. For example, Ind AS 103, additional guidance on accounting of business combinations of entities under common control. Pooling of interest method not recognized in IFRS.
In my AS 14, you got two methods of amalgamation. Accounting, pooling of interest and purchase. But IFRS only one method. Now, when it comes to India, they say, no, we want both the methods. So, pooling of interest method is also inserted in India's 103. That means additional points what we are giving. That is what is called a carving. Did you understand? 5 marks question only from here. Nothing else you have to study. Suppose someone mag, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is IFRS, again, same story. IFRS, I told you, 1/4/2001 in the IASB. Object is almost same of India's. Timely information, comparability, reliability, prescribed policies, glance model. Right. Now, the regular material, also we have covered this. Will the record start page number?
32.
Everybody's in the class?
Yes, sir.
So underline regular material also side by side so that we are going for elaborative discussion. I said standards denotes a discipline with yardstick and guidelines. Then 5 pieces are same measurement disclosure. Something new with rematra no. So okay, look at me. Corporates and non-corporate distinction make important mark. Non-corporates are classified in syllabus level 1 enterprise, level 2 enterprise, and level 3 enterprise. So level 1 is called big enterprise. They don't give a name. Level 2 medium enterprise is called small enterprise. Put together, they are called SME, small and medium enterprise. You're able to connect?
Yes, sir.
So for companies for which India's is not applicable, they have to go by existing standard. For which India's is applicable, we already discussed 101 to 117 and yes, India's 1 to 41. Non-corporates have to go by ICI, repetition. Companies, section 133, non-corporate story. They can go through, not important. Section 129, extremely crucial, financial statement. 129, read with 133. Every company has to follow accounting standards, compulsory. 129.5, very, very important. Very, very important. So, whenever there is a deviation from accounting standard bar policy, whenever there is a deviation from accounting standard bar policy, disclose 3+1. So, accounts material, I hope all of you have. Those who do not have, you can take it. Print over another money. Division material and you will share. 3+1. Look at me. 129 file bharutte. Yes, 1 al bharutte. Yes, file bharutte. Yes, 1 is disclosure of accounting policy. Yes, 5 al. What is the title of yes 5?
Net profit
Or loss for the period, prior period items,
changes in account.
Social ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಓದೋರ್ ತರ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಜೋರ ಹೇಳ್ರು.
Net profit or loss
prior period items, change in accounts.
ನಿಮ್ದು ಈ ತರ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಸತ್ತೋದವ್ರು ಏನಾಗ್ತಾರೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಫುಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರೋ ಚಾನ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದವ್ರು ಪಾಪ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋರು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಯಮಧರ್ಮ. ನೀವು ಅರ್ಧ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದವರು ಹಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಪ್ಪ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅಂತ ಜೋಶಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ರು. ಯಾಕೆ ಸಾರಿಶಿಕಾ net profit or loss for the period, prior period item and changes in accounting. Title only irukke. Title enna irukke? Iruve alla irodu. Darshan avare. Changes in accounting policy. So first point is when can I change? When can I change? 3 reasons. Yes, M. You know, Shetty sir Munkur antana. You will never change. Shetty sir Munkur will never change. Yes, M. Eagle idea banditu. There is a change in the statute, change in the standard, management reason. Electricity companies before 2001, if I'm not wrong, they permitted you to follow SLM or WDV depreciation. But afterwards, they said, Chaitanya, you should follow only SLM. law change do I have an option? If I was following WDV, I must change it to SLM only because there's a change in the statute. Next, change in the standard. I think again before 2002, yes has permitted you to yes to follow FIFO, LIFO, simple average, weighted average, all permission into. But now they say only FIFO and weighted average. Following FIFO, Arshita, I have to change because standard has changed. The most important, account is a suggestive law and not a compulsive law, unlike income tax. Accounts accounts start 14. Look at the beauty of an example. Transferring company have an intention to carry the business of transferor company. I call it the merger method. 72A of the Income Tax, CA final. If you carry on the business of the transferor company for 5 years, then only I'll give you benefit of amalgamation. Sir, I have an intention to marry that girl, but sir, our sister looks so beautiful, I change it. Income tax is like Shetty sir. Yeah, nah, that's it. Accounts only chalta hai. Ravish tara, atha Prithviraj tara, idea change ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? So accounts is a suggestive law. Aditi Rao, correct law. You don't accept it, you accept Aditi Rao. Accept law ಅವಳಿಗೆ idea ಇಲ್ಲ. Ice cream ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ. So when you talk about the change, SSM. So if there is a management feels that this is a better method, now no doubt Indian economy, FIFO is better. FIFO is better because of the inflation. But there are certain cases where the prices are falling left, right, center. They said, no, FIFO is not suiting. I want to deviate. I still want to follow LIFO. Follow, no problem. So whenever there is a change in the standard, range in the statute, and a change in the management, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ change ಆಗ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಆಗ ₹1 ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. So management reason, management as a reason to believe that is a better method, then you can go by change. Whenever there is a change. Now, Sri Guru is regular student. Will I ask, yako regular agbarti anta?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Ratan Kamat Papa, on full Bayaman Jute Ogavan, all regular agite change. I will definitely catch hold of him. 2 days ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ಮನೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ. So I'll ask him ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕಿದೆ. So I'll be asking when there is a deviation, regular student, irregular ಅಂದ್ರೆ we don't care. Regular ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? So change in the statute ಎಲ್ಲ ಆದಾಗ you need to disclose. That's one. Nature of deviation, reason for deviation, financial impact of the deviation. If financial impact could not be ascertained, mention that there is a change, but I could not ascertain the same. ಇದನ್ನ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು? ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮೆಲೋಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ವಾಯ್ಸ್. ಅಕ್ಕ ಓದಕ್ಕ.
Yes, sir. Disclosure read with AS1 and AS5.
So 129.5 ಇದು whenever there is a deviation ಅಂತ ಬಂದು ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಬರಬೇಕು ಪೃಥ್ವಿರಾಜ್? 129.5 AS1 AS5 ಮೂರು ಬರಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. Look at me. AS1 is like an introduction standard to other standard. Suppose AS13 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ deviation ಆಯ್ತು. You can still refer 129.5 AS1 and AS5. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ AS1 and 5 are generic standards. AS13 is an investment related standard. Investment ಅಲ್ಲಿ deviation ಅಂದ್ರೆ get back to those three. Are you understanding the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And Ravish, joragittalla ninne in the love. Next.
4 arrow marks. Nature of deviation. Second, reasons for deviation. The possible reasons are compliance with SSM, statute standard change, and decided by management for better presentation.
Make important mark. So these points also you can just add it in your this revision material. Maybe once you go for 200 pages, kelskotadre elro?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Hello?
Yes.
And also you can just add. So make important mark for this.
Yes.
Some of them are already there here. All of you listening?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So illide ello barutado, but disclose madakali you can connect it. If suppose if something is missing from that, copy it here. Yeah.
Financial impact due to such deviation. Last arrow mark. If financial impact could not be ascertained, state the same.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? B, C1 or C2. ಒಂದಾ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯು ascertain the same. Next.
Right side the arrow mark, the third arrow mark, 133. And
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ 133. NFRA ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇದ್ಬೇಡ ಫುಲ್ ತೆಗಿರಿ. NFRA has prescribed compelled loss charge. NFRA full form ಏನಪ್ಪಾ?
National Financial Reporting Authority.
Authority. Reporting. ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕ ತಿಳಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ. National Financial Reporting Authority. NFRA has prescribed compelled loss standards. Compelled loss standards. AS1 to AS29. Vijayalakshmi. Which are nothing but Suhana, ICS standards. Nothing but ICS. They are ICS standards only. Abdul, Bharatrao, Vaishnavi, Prashant, Neha, Lavanya, Akshita, Pradeep Gurraj. ಇವನೆಲ್ಲೋದ? ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ಗುರುರಾಜ್ ಮದುವೆ ಆಯ್ತೇನ್ರೋ? ಪೃಥ್ವಿರಾಜ್ ಇನ್ವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇದನ್ನೇ
ಏನು ಇದ ಸರಿ ಮದುವೆ ಆದವ್ರು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರ? ನಾನು ಮದುವೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕೇಳಿ. ಏನ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ನೋಡಿ. ಮದುವೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಕೇಳಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಇದಿದೆ ಅಂತವ್ರೆ. ಮದುವೆ ಆದವರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಾ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಇದಿದೆ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಮದುವೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿ, ಪೃಥ್ವಿರಾಜ್ ಏನೋ ಇನ್ವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಬಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಏನೋ ಗಾಂಧರ್ವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ NFRS prescribed AS1 to AS29, nothing but ICS standards. Everybody understood?
yes sir.
Yes, sir.
So now come to accounting standard 1. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೀಜನ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆಲ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಒನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ರೆಡಿ?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Disclosure of accounting policies. It's something like see entire 8 subjects. Shetty sir ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೌ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್, ಹೌ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ FM, ಹೌ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ EIS ಅಂತ ಒಂದು 2 pages 3 page ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ?
Yes sir.
ಅದೇ ತರ AS1 is a disclosure standard for all the subsequent standard. ಸರ್ AS9 ಇದು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಜರ್ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡೋದು? AS9 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ AS1. ಸರ್ AS13 என்ன பண்றது? அங்கே பாருங்க, இங்க AS1 ல இருக்கா லிபிகா? ಅವಳಿಗೆ ತಮಿಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ತಮಿಳು ಕೇಳಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ AS29 disclosure if you want to follow specific there, but AS1. AS1 is an introduction standard. It is a pure disclosure standards. When you are preparing and presenting accounts, we presume 3 fundamental accounting assumptions.
Going concern, accrual, consistency.
Archita, going concern, very good. Chinmay, you allow her to read, otherwise ನನಗೂ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಬ್ರಿಗೂ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಹೊಡೆಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ. ಹಂಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಕ್ಯಾರೆಟ್ ಅವರು, ಮುಖರದ ಹಂಗೆ.
ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
ಏನೋ
ಅವ್ಳು ಕುಂಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು, ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಓಡೋಣ ನಾವು.
ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಾ ತಾಗಿತಾ ಅರ್ಚಿತಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಸೊ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್, ಎಕ್ರೂವಲ್, ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿ. ಏನ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಾ? ಏನೇ ಲಿಪಿಕಾ? It is an assumption that, again, see, you have to catch the words from the title only. Fundamental accounting assumptions. Divya, Deepa, Pooja, Samvita. It is a fundamental accounting assumption, Rahul. Yenantre assumption that business is going to be there forever. Beauty. One of the revision classes ಮಾಡಿದ್ನ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ RTP ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ದ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ ಅಂತ. ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ RTP ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿ ಕೇರ್, 100% ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್. RTP ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, November 22, May 22 RTP. Right. So going concern illa andre enagutte? Think for a while, there is no going concern assumption. What would happen? If you ask me, if you get
What would happen if
there is going concern assumption?
There would not have been a concept called balance sheet. Now, can you imagine an accounts without balance sheet? You know why? Because you classify the transactions into revenue and capital. What is capital? Intended to be for a long period is capital. Intended to be for a short period is revenue. Revenue goes to P&L, capital goes to. You don't know whether you are going to be there tomorrow or not. Then how do you classify, Bob? Did you understand the beauty?
Yes.
Did you understand the beauty? So without having this assumption, you would not have had a concept called revenue and capital. You would not have had something like a balance sheet and P&L. That's why you cannot imagine accounts without balance sheet. Fatima, can you imagine the financial without balance sheet, Baba? Impossible. T-shirt both acha aapka. So when you talk about the financial transactions, if you want to classify them as revenue and capital, it's a fundamental accounting assumption that business is going to be there forever. I am a pan bida businessman. I purchase a pan. I estimate it to be there. Revenue expenditure, take it. I am a pan bida businessman. Building purchase. I am going to be there forever. I take it as a balance sheet. Assuming I am not going to be there tomorrow. Balance sheet, building purchase, pan purchase, both debit to P&L account. I hope you understood.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, next, accrual.
As and when the
As and when the
transaction. When the transaction.
As and when the
Deepa.
transactions occur, we are recording the transactions.
So very good, excellent. So as and when the transaction take place, record the transaction. As and when they take place. Okay. Sir, cash nahi hai. Don't worry, there's a different method altogether. So as and when the transaction take place, record it. Consistency. Regularly follow the same thing again and again and again and again and again. Okay. Shetty sir class regular barugo. So consistency is what? So regularly you are following the same thing again and again and again and again and again. Shetty sir offline irli, online irli, function irli, ella kade same irtare. You change agala. Yen madakagatte. Namma appa amma huttu agala ee manche change agala. Yen madakagatte. So these are three fundamental accounting assumptions, Lipika. If you follow, why should you disclose? Everybody knows. Now, Rutvik and that girl are continuously there, Muniyamma, in the park. So we presume that they are couple. They are couple. Why should you disclose? There is no necessity. We know that, Alva. Whereas there is a possibility that it may be Ravi's wife. So she has taken to park. Park okay, Alvina, Ravish, I know. So so then he has to say, Illa, Nanentiala, Nano Annana Henti Attige, Ravish Henti Attige, Karkodogini, Nano. So I am a brother-in-law, whatever it means. He has to disclose. So when fundamental accounting assumptions are followed, no disclosure. If not followed, Kanda, smile please. No disclosure required. Arthaita.
Yes.
Right. Next. You have to select your husband. Apurva. How tar husband select ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋ ಹೇಳು. This is a serious question. ನಿನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿನ್ಗೆ ನೋಡು ಮೇರಾ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಮೇರಾ ಮುಟ್ಟಿ ಮೇ ಅಂತ ಓಕೆ ಆ ತರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಬೇಕು ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋ. ಒಂದು ತುಂಬಾ ಪಾಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು.
ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ.
ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ. ಸಿ ಮೇರಿ ಮೂಕಿ ಬಾತ್ಲಿ ಚಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪಾಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. So these are the three principles you have to decide when selecting an accounting policy. ಪಾಪದವನು ಇರಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವಳು ಹೇಳಿದ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ. ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಯಾರು? PSM. ಪಾಪದವನು ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಅವನು ಯಾರಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಆತನು ಪೆದ್ದು ಶಿಖಾಮಣಿ. ಯಾರೋ ಆ ತರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಪೆದ್ದು ಶಿಖಾಮಣಿನೇ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಸಿಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಬೈ ಅಪೂರ್ವ ಈಸ್ ಪೆದ್ದು ಶಿಖಾಮಣಿ. ಪ್ರೂಡೆನ್ಸ್, substance or form and materiality. So I hope you cannot forget Apurva's example anytime in life. Ena Apurva, yav tar irbeku ganda?
PSM.
Peddu shikamani. Ena peddu muddagirli paragilla. Okay. So next, substance or form, smart agirbeku. Okay. Then materiality. How do you select? Sir, should I go with SLM or WDV? Should I go with the FIFO or weighted average? How do I select? Three principles are to be considered. Prudence, also called conservatism. Heli. Rutvik.
Anticipated.
Heli, auntie, heli, parayilla.
Account for anticipated losses or expenses, but not for anticipated profits or gains.
So beautiful. Ali anticipated ಅಥವಾ expected word miss ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ totally nonsense ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸರ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೇನ್ಸ್. ಪೇಳ್ಳೆ ಕೊಡಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಪುಷ್ಪ ತರನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಖಾಲಿ ಪೇಳ್ಳೆ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಏನು ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆಂಟಿ ಏನ್ ದೀಪ ಆಂಟಿಸಿಪೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೇನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Anticipated expense and losses you have to consider. One of the beautiful life principle. Your parents earn say 30,000 per month. They don't spend everything because they have to set aside something for a sudden emergency. Sudden like emergency birthday, some issues birthday, ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ birthday, something they have to set aside. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಸಾಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ತಿನ್ನು ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡೋದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಐ ಶೋನ್ ಯು ದಟ್ ಗೋರ್ ಗೋಪಾಲ್ ದಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ. ಏನೋ ಬನಿಯನ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ನೈಟ್. ತೂತೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಇನ್ನು ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಹೋಲಿಗೆ ಇಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಇದಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್. ಟೂತ್ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೊ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಚಪಾತಿ ಬೇಲನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಫುಲ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್. ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಡಸ್. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಈಗ ಋತ್ವಿ ಗರ್ಲ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ರವೀಶ್ ಒಪ್ಕೋತಾನೆ, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವೇನಾ ರವೀಶ್? ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಫುಲ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವ್ನು ಹುಡುಗ. ಆ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಹೊರಡೆ ಬಾರ ಸಾಕು. ಲವ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನಿನ್ನೇನೆ ಲವ್ ಡೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಕಮಾಡೋದ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್, ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಚಿಲ್. ರೈಟ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ದೀಪಾ, ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ. ಪ್ರೂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ anticipated. So ES1 ಗೆ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ES2. This is how you have to interconnect. Inventory is valued at cost or NRV, loosely market value, whichever is less. I purchased the inventory at 100 rupees. I purchased inventory at 100 rupees. By closing stock 2 hours. If the market value is 120, I write by closing stock 100. Purchase 100, no profit recognized. Market value 120 adaga, assuming you write by closing stock 120. Purchase 100, by closing stock 120, 20 rupees profit. Wow. But the CA nek ಮಾಡೋದು, quit CA. Purchase and to do the stock violation. Sale ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, profit ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. Understood? Cranky? Cannot happen. That's whereas if 100 rupees comes down to 95, purchase 100, closing stock 95. Yes. So 5 rupee loss is automatically debited to P&L account. This is the prudence which is inbuilt in ES2. Harshita Batre. ಇಂಚನ ವಿಷಯ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ES13. Current investments are valued at
cost
or market value, whichever is less.
ES29, I not dealt yet. Make a provision. If you are anticipating to lose a case, you have to make a provision within the financial statement. Archavardhan. If you are anticipating winning the game, you are expecting. So imagine this scenario. Your profit as of now is 100 lakh. You are anticipating to lose a case and you have to pay a compensation of 100 lakh. 2, provision for case 100 lakh. 100 minus 100, 0. You didn't declare the dividend. Okay, next here, assuming you lost the case, you have made a provision, you are safe. You're assuming you win the case. Whatever money comes, take it and distribute. Ulta. You're anticipating to win the case. As of now, net profit 100. You're expecting to win the case and receiving compensation 100. So take it. By additional revenue 100. Total profit 200. Bapka malata distribute as a dividend. Assuming you win the case, okay. You lose the case. Amma, Tai, and you have to go to the shareholders. They will say, Munde hogu anta. You understand? So look at the beauty. See, I don't know how many of you appreciate beauty of the thinking by account stats. Bore ಆಗ್ತದೆ account stats ಏನಾದ್ರು?
No, sir.
Attended some CSU program. I know account stat ಅಂದ್ರೆ theory ಹಾಕೋದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. Just connect it with the beauty of life. It will become chiller. So conservatism. Provide for auntie's expense and losses. Do not provide for anticipated incomes and gains. Substance over form. Tomorrow, Rutvik fully ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಬಾಲ್ಡಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ನಂತರ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅವ್ನು ಫುಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. What is the biggest challenge for him, Arshita?
How to
Not knowing where to
ಅಲ್ಲ, how ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಷ್ಟ ಬಿಡಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಹಬ್ಬಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ರೈನ್ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ವಿಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಬಾತ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರು ಟಿಲ್ ವೇರ್ ಯು ಟು ವಾಶ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇರ್ಲಿ. ನಾವು ಸೊ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್. So he got very good marks. He is intelligent. Let's accept it. 95 maths is not an easy job in foundation. He's intelligent. Okay. Now he loses complete hair. Can you say, hey, he doesn't have a hair, he's dumb banta? Do you his intelligence based on his hair?
No.
No,
sir.
Intelligent. Gandhiji was not intelligent. Huh? Girls, don't grasp me. So the point I'm trying to say is, go by Apurva, Bidambe, substance over form. Ella point cover ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸಾನ ಬಂದಿದಾತ್ ಮೆತ್ತಿಗೆ ಈಗಷ್ಟೇ ತಿಂದಿಯಲ್ಲೇ 3 ಗಂಟೆ ಸೆಷನ್ ಏನು 1 ಗಂಟೆ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾರ ಸೊ when you talk about the substance over form, do not go by the mere formality, go by the true spirit. Live example, don't judge a person based on his handsome or beauty, go for inner beauty anta. Inner beauty ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ರವಿಶ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕವನೆ ಏನ್ ಸರ್ ರೂಪ ಬನ್ಯಾನ ಅಂತ ಏ ಗುಬೆ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ರೂಪ ಬನ್ಯಾನ ಅಲ್ಲ ಕಣೋ ಓಕೆ ಆ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಈ ಟಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತೇನೋ ರವಿಶ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ರೂಪ ಬನ್ಯಾನ ಅಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆನಾ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಡಾಲರ್ ಕಂಪನಿನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಓಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಅದೇ ಸಾಕು ಓಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನೋ ರವೀಶ್ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಐನೋ ಸುನಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ರಿಯಾನ್ ಏನೋ ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ PS don't go by the AS1 prudence example is AS2 substance over form example is AS19 under finance lease hire purchase even though you are becoming the owner in the last installment you can still claim the depreciation from day one. You are not the owner, still you can claim in the true spirit you are the owner even though legal form you are not the owner. Enjoying Baba?
Yes.
Next, materiality. We have discussed n number of times for new friends if any. Material items means items, comma, the knowledge of which influences the decisions of the users of the financial statement. Other words as it is reproduced. Arshita, you know, items,
Yes, sir, I was
comma, the
thinking.
knowledge of which influences the decisions of the users of the financial statements. ರಥೋತ್ಸವ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಳ್ಳೆಕಾಯಿ ಮಾರ್ಸಕ್ ಕೂರ್ಸ್ತೀನಿ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸೊ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಕೊಮಾ ದ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಚ್ influence of the decisions of the users of the financial statements. Ritwik ಹೇಳೋ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ನಿನಗೆ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ
Yes, sir.
ಯಾವ ಐಟಮ್
Any item, sir.
ಎನಿ ಐಟಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಸರ್
All types of figures.
ಸೊ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಆಲ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಗುಬ್ಬೆಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಲಿಪಿಕಾ ನೋಡು ನಿಮ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೇಟ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಇದಾರಂತ ಎಕ್ಕುಟ್ಟೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿದೇನೆ ರೈಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ನಾನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟವ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವನು ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡವ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಮೈ ಫೇವ್ರೆಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಪಾನಿಪುರಿ ಯಾರೋ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಅಂಜನಾ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಬೈ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ 1 lakh ಎಲ್ಲ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಬೈ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ 1 lakh ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ 10,000 ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ ಬೈ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ 1 lakh ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಟೋಲನ್ ಬೈ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ 10,000 ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is.
10,000 in 1 lakh is 10% material. Next step, she opens her juice business everywhere, Goa, Portuguese, everywhere. Sales 100 crores. But cashier papa is so now cut. Cash stolen 10,000 this year also. 100 crores sales, 10,000 cash stolen. Material?
No.
Excuse me, and 10,000 is nothing. Okay. Next step, very important. Sales is 100 crore. Cash stolen 10,000. Mettige kelage. Cash stolen by MD. Managing director who is supposed to protect the company. So, material?
Yes, sir.
So, if you have not understood this, assuming Anjana Juice Limited issues a prospectus asking for 5,000 crore money, and then star kelage MD is a chore. Please subscribe anta. How many of you will subscribe? Tell me. Anybody will subscribe? Pagal kutte ne kaata hai aapko? Athwa by you biting the dog has become pagal kutta? No. Naigene uchididendo? Naina? So what influences your decision is called materiality. Understood, Baba? So don't go only by Ritwik figures. Figures are not the only criteria to decide materiality. You should also see the context. So MD stealing 10,000 rupees, 100 crores of the material, whereas otherwise you have to go by. This is how examples for materiality can be disclosure of inventory irbodu athava Schedule 3, 1% of the revenue from operations. Any expenditure or income has to be shown separately ಅಂತ ಒಂದು theory ಇದೆ. ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಾ? This is how you have to connect. If you have to elevate, ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಪೂಜಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂಜಾ. You have to write 1% of the revenue from operation. If it is an expenditure, show separately. If it is income, show separately. Something like that. ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಾ? 1% or 1 lakh, whichever is higher. Take over BS. ಸುಸ್ತಾಯ್ತೇನೋ? Right. So, ಓದಮ್ಮ heroine quickly. ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ ಓದು, ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ.
ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ನೀನು.
ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಓದೆ.
Yeah, okay, sir. ನಾನು ಓದ್ತೀನಿ ಈಗ. Let me read. AS1, disclosure of accounting policies. Accounting policies are the specific accounting principles and the methods of applying those principles adopted by an enterprise in the preparation and presentation of financial statements. Give the examples of main content of subsequent standards. Example.
So, AS1 ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ. Any standard next discussion ಕೊಡಿ. What is an accounting policy? Example. ಓದೆ.
Example for AS2.
Give the examples of main content of subsequent standard for accounting policies. For accounting policy. Print out.
For AS2, FIFO method of stock valuation. For AS10, SLM method of SLM depreciation, etc. 3 arrow marks: fundamental accounting assumptions, going concern, accrual, consistency, GAC. Factors to be considered for selecting accounting standards: prudence, substance over form, materiality, PSM. Disclosure.
PSM ಅಪ್ಪು ಒಂದು ಏನು ಪಾಪ ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅದೇನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಒಂದು ಅವಸ್ಥೆ ಬಿಡಿ.
Disclosures: all material policies if option is given in accounting standards, when GAC is not followed if 2 options are given in accounting standards.
So major policies ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. GAC not followed the disclose ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Followed the disclose ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. And more is never less, Sneha. Even if you disclose, it's okay. When 2 options are given in the account standard, which one you disclose, which option you follow. Understood, Baba?
Yes, sir.
Disclosure of accounting policies. All significant accounting policies adopted in the preparation and presentation of financial statements should be disclosed as a part of financial statements in one place.
In the bracket, that's called in one place.
Notes to.
Excellent. Very good.
Disclosure of accounting policies or of changes therein cannot remedy a wrong or inappropriate treatment of the item in the accounts. Example: inventory is valued at market value being higher than the cost and same is properly disclosed. Comment. Answer: a disclosure of wrong treatment given will not make it right. Such treatment is against prudence principle.
She's right. Will not make it right.
Such treatment is against the prudence principle.
Something like, see, some students are absent. Absent. Sir, see, if you are absent, you are given intimation. Intimation doesn't work in caps. No? Sir, I have taken a permission. See, if you have taken a permission, fine. Sir, I am going to a function. So, just because you are informed, does it mean that your wrong will become right? It will not become right. So, when you talk about the wrong treatment followed, and you say, sir, I have disclosed, it will not make a wrong as a right. Okay. So, maybe somewhere it may have a little concession in the eyes of the viewers, but otherwise, wrong treatment will never become a right. Okay. Very important. Control BM is there. Make important mark. Extremely important. Correct. Ella standards good common disclosure extremely important.
General note: for almost all the standards, common disclosures are: 1. Accounting policy used. Say in accounting standard 2, inventory of finished goods is valued at NRV being lesser than cost.
So ಯಾವುದೇ standard ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ main ಏನು policy ಇರುತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ inventory is valued at cost. Inventory is valued at NRV, being lesser than the cost. PP is valued at cost. PP is valued at revaluation. ಅದನ್ನು ಬರೀ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಜರ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. If you don't understand, ask me, so that ನಿಮ್ಮ account standard all discussion will be condensed into very limited pages. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
When there are two or more options given, disclose the option selected. Example,
So,
SLM.
whenever there are two options given, which method you follow? How do I know, sir? Disclose. ಯಾರಿಗೆ? Users of the financial statement. ಹೌದಮ್ಮ?
Example, SLM followed under AS10.
Which is the bracket and ಇದೆ already. AS10 permits SLM WDV and units of production method for depreciation. AS10 permits SLM WDV and what?
Units of production method.
Units of production for depreciation. Next.
Main crux of such standards say consideration under AS14.
AS14 ಅಲ್ಲಿ purchase consideration is crucial. PC ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಏನು PC ಅದ ಚಿನ್ಮಯ? ಪುಣ್ಯಮ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ? Purchase consideration. Next.
Any deviation from accounting standard or policies.
Any deviation, ಇದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಕ್ಕ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಯಾವುದರ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸರ್? 129(5).
AS1, AS2.
AS1 and AS5.
Excellent, excellent. 129(5)/AS1/AS5. Repeatedly bari. I know good amount of repetition irutte. Let us not repeat the exam. Continue. Odaka.
Yes, sir. 2 arrow marks. Reasons. SSM.
I said 3+1. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ?
Yes.
Nature of deviation, reason, financial impact, ಅಥವಾ reason. And very important. These are the 5 important points of every standard. Odama.
Connect all disclosures to Schedule 3, Part 1 and Part 2. Can show extract.
Extract also. So anything you talk about, for example, they talk about inventory. Say under current asset, inventory should be shown like this. You can just show an extract also. That will be the best presentation possible. Everybody understood?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Just a sec. Come to the major theory. Just one day we'll make sure. Looking at one particular note. Ille, you wrote changes on the accounting policy. ಇದೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಇದನ್ನ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಕಡೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಬಿಲೋ ದಟ್ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. A Limited was following FIFO for stock valuation. FIFO for stock valuation. Closing stock would have been 120 lakh. But change to VAT. Change to VAT. Stock value 100 lakh. So you changed on accounting policy from FIFO to VAT. You could have ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ careful ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. Example, FIFO to REFO ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ because REFO is not suggested. It is not prohibited Divya, but not suggested. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes.
So very disclosures. Number 1. ಇದನ್ನ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Number 1. Company has changed its stock valuation method. ಈ ತರ ತುಂಬಾ analytical questions ಬರುತ್ತೆ group 1 group 2 ನಲ್ಲಿ. Company has changed its stock valuation method from FIFO to VAT. Number 2, that's the deviation. Number 2, what? Reason. Reason. Yeah. Due to change in the nature of business. Due to change in the nature of business and stiff competition in the international market. You know, stiff competition in the international market. comma, management feels, management feels WAP better suits the company. WAP better suits the company. Next, number 3. Financial impact. You know, due to change, profit is underreported by 20 lakh in the current year. Due to change, profit is underreported by 20 lakh in the current year. Within the bracket, please note, it is a temporary situation since such closing stock becomes opening stock of next year. Very good. Opening stock of next year, wherein the profit will be over-reported by 20 lakh. Opening stock come as profit just agalla.
Yes.
Profit will be what, Priyanka? Over-reported by 20 lakh. Everybody understood?
Yes.
So nature of deviation, reason for deviation, and finance. Bali, come inside, get into the same words, lose words, marks kododilla. You have to elevate. Some of you think I know everything, and you know everything. I'm happy. You need to know the language expected by ICA. Why some of us are not able to get that 30-40 birthday? Why we are not able to cross 50-60? Because we don't use the language used by CH2. Examples probably we are not giving. Adakoska, elevate, go in depth to the point. CH2 words what I am saying is CH2 words.
Yes.
Now for a minute, come back to the general notes what you have. The 5 minutes the ICI standards on the classification. All of you able to see?
Yes.
Yes. So what is a level 1 enterprise? Level, level is that means a big enterprise. Any one or more conditions are satisfied at any time, something like a 44 AE. Any time you have got more than 10 vehicles, you are out of a 44 AE. Any time one or more conditions are satisfied, you are called level 1. Yaudu, underline. Underline any one or more, anytime. Underline equity or debt listed in India or outside India. 4 point equity listed in India, debt listed in India. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Listed outside India, debt liquid, debt outside India. Equity shares debt in India, outside India, listed. Next one is same thing in the process of listing. They are not listed, but you are in the process of listing. So how do I know? Evidenced by BOD resolution. Board of Directors are given a resolution saying that we are going to list. So these are level 1. All banks, including cooperative banks, all financial institutions, all insurance companies. And the next one, very important, CBI, CBI, Commercial Business and Industrial Enterprises, whose turnover in the last year is more than 250 crores. 250 crores. Turnover, reticle, and money does not include, use multiple colors, capsize, I think you are used to it, does not include other income. Next, same thing, CBI, whose borrowings, make a circle for borrowings. Borrowings, including public, exceed 50 crores at any time during the period. Then the last one, holding or subsidiary of any of the above. Suppose subsidiary is having a 300 crore turnover, holding company automatically will become a level 1 enterprise. If
Yes.
any of these conditions are satisfied, you are called level 1 enterprise. Yaudella listed, process of listing, banking company, insurance company, financial institutions. Any commercial business enterprise, any commercial enterprise, cash foundation apply agodilla. Cash foundation is neither commercial nor industrial nor business enterprise. So turnover about 250 crores. Out of borrowings exceeding 50 crores. All of you catching?
Yes.
Yes.
Subsidiary. On the auditing ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ auditing accounts law ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. What is level 2? Same CBI above 50 crore but less than 250 crore. Same CBI above 10 crore less than 50 crore borrowing. Then holding or subsidiary. ಮೂರೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. If it is above 250 crore, you are level 1 turnover. If it is below 250 but above 50 crore, you are called level 2.
Level.
Above 50 crore is called level 1. Borrowing above 10 crore is called level 2. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, sir.
Holding or subsidiary. ಇದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರೀರಿ. ಎಸ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಓವರ್ 300 crores. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಅಲ್ಲ 300 crores. It means H limited is also. It means both S, H and S are level 1.
Level.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. H limited turnover 300 crore. It means both H and S ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು?
Subsidiary
Holding and
holding.
subsidiary.
Both are level enterprises. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ದೇವರಿಗೆ?
Yes, sir.
ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. The level 3 is what? Which is not level 1 and level 2 are level 3. For years 15 alone, when the number of employees are less than 50, there is also called level 3. But ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. One interesting point ಏನಂದ್ರೆ once you are level 1, very crucial, ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, very crucial. Once you are level 1, you are level 1 for minimum 2 years. Once you are level 2, in the next year you can be either level 2 or you can go back to level 1. You will never become level 3. Once you are a level 3, you can become anything in the next year. On the side right, on the example is there. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ, extremely important. ಓದೋಕಾ ಇದನ್ನ?
Yes, sir. Note applicable for ICAI as well as company law standards, where an enterprise has been covered in level 1 and
ICAI standards ಅಲ್ಲಿ
subsequently.
we call it level 1, level 2. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ 2 RMRs. ICAI ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ? level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1, level 2, level 3. So 3 categories. Within the bracket, level 2 and 3 SME. And level 1 is non-SME. Big ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Use the same words. Something like in income tax, ಯಾರೋ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು. Urban agricultural and rural ಹೇಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Urban
Non-urban.
non-urban ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ ಉರ್ದೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Urban non-urban. ರೂರಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Level 1, level 2, level 3. 2 is called medium, akar. Level 3 is called small. 2 and 3 are called SME. So anything other than SME is called level 1. Artha aita? That is under ICAI. Complete right side. Companies. Companies. Erade. SMC, non-SMC. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂರಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಎರಡು ಮಟ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡೋದ. Small and medium companies. Small and medium companies and non-SMC. ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes.
आपको समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Next. मैं तपದು.
Page 36.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕವದಕ.
Yes, sir. Where an enterprise has been covered in level 1 and subsequently ceases to be so covered, the enterprise will not qualify for exemption available to level 2 enterprises until the enterprise ceases to be covered in level 1 for 2 consecutive years. Similar is the case in respect of an enterprise which has been covered in level 1 or level 2 and subsequently gets covered under level 3.
Example.
Financial year 1920, first year, turnover rupees 60 crore, 2021 40 crore, 2022 21 22 40 crore. For financial year 19.
Correction, Madi. Turnover in first year is 260 crores. 260 crores. 2021, it is 40 crores. 21, 22, no. First year, financial year 1920, it is level 3, which is the bracket, right? Level 3, which is the bracket. Since in financial 18-19, anybody? Verbatim reading.
Zero.
Zero.
18-19. Company never existed. Hence, turnover was nil. Now, last year, the turnover was Chinmaya. Last year, it was nil. That means it is always level 3. Financial year 2021, next year, and 21-22, it is level 1. Yeah, Kelly?
2 years.
2 years.
The bracket. Since turnover of 1920 is greater than 250 crores. Correction model 260 anta.
Sir.
Yes.
260 crores.
Yes, sir.
So 1920, 260. 2021, 40. Then 21-22, you get the
Yes, sir. Yes.
so for 2023 is level 3. Level 3, yeah, Kelly?
Turnover
Turnover is less than 250 crores.
Last 2 years. Which is the bracket. Turnover less than 50 crores in the last 2 years. 2 years is bracket. This ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ 3 RMRs. First one. Once a level 1, next year it is level 1. That's doubt. Next year change happen. Second one. Once a level 2, next year it can be level 1 or level 2. It can go back to level 1. It can upgrade, but it cannot come to level 3. Artha
Yeah.
It can be level 1 or level 2. Last arrow mark. Once a level 3, in the next year, it can be level 1, 2, or 3. Again, better. You know the example. First year, the level 3. Next year, it became level 1.
Yes, sir.
Then, go inside, full specific. DD. Okay, next. Responsible for account standard we saw. Company 129 finance statement, 129.5 is deviation, 133 is account standards. Directors are responsible under section 134.5. 143.3 says auditor is also responsible. Entities other than companies, we have level 1, level 2, level 3. Income taxes we saw 145.2 is ICDS. Then 145.3, if you do not follow 145.2 best judgment assessment, then tax authority assessors have to follow account standards anta ಒಂದು ICI journal print ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಲಾಂಚ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಇದು example to identify. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ first column first make this 255 crores. 255 first year. Again, ಇದು always level 3. These two will become level 1. Okay, level 1 based on 255. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಎಲ್ರು?
Yes.
Next, level 2. So this is level 2. This is level 3 ಮಾಡಿ. Next 2 years ಇದು below 50 crores ಇದೆ. So give a correction. All of you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whereas this one is level 2. And this is also level 2. ಇದು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? 50 crore ಇದೆ 250 crore ಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಫಿಗರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಎರಡಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು give a correction to 15. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಲೆವೆಲ್ 3 ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ 3 ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ 3 ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಓವರ್ 0. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಓವರ್ ಇಸ್ 255 ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
255 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಬೌಟ್ 250. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 2 consecutive years it is a level 1. Everybody understood?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You want to see the last 2 years. Last 2 years is below 50. That means it is level 3. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಾಗ you want to see the last 2. last till 50, above 52, 50 there. That means it's a level 2. Once it's a level 2, it has to be level 2 or level 1. It cannot become level 3. Artha
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, the exams take up just of that. Again 145, 344 AB repetition again. Right. So take a quick break, 5 minutes. I'm leaving by ship around 6 o'clock, 5 minutes here and there. So that's why don't take more than 5 minutes. 6:10, 5:10, you're inside the class. You don't drop, there is no necessary to drop. Shall we resume?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Resume is getting ready. Okay. Shall we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ರವೀಶ್ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಂತೆ. ಬಂತಾ? ಓದೆ ದೀಪ ಓದಮ್ಮ.
Office notice on Valentine's Day. Official notice. Dear all, your absence or late coming or early leaving on 14th February will be reported to your spouse.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ? Again, one more blunder by some of the politicians that are not getting into politics, but comedy.
ಈ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ, ಈ ದೇಶದ ಐಕ್ಯತೆಗೋಸ್ಕರ, ಈ ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಕರಾದಂತಹ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂತಿಮ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯ ದಿನ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Sir, audio is.
Yes, sir.
ಕೇಳಿಸಿಲ್ವಾ?
It was breaking, sir.
ಆಡಿಯೋ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? No?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
ಈ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ, ಈ ದೇಶದ ಐಕ್ಯತೆಗೋಸ್ಕರ, ಈ ದೇಶವನ್ನ ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಕರಾದಂತಹ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂತಿಮ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯ ದಿನ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂತಿಮ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯ ದಿನ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
I'm sure you understood what means. Political aspect not relevant. You wanted to say the last part of the journey. Okay, so then that program. But he said Antima Yatra means Ram. Atara. That's how the issues happens. Anyhow, now let's get into the specific account standards. So till now we discussed about the generic and ES1. Now let us move on to the specific standards. All of you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
9 out of 10 times this question has been asked. This standard has been covered. ES2. And reasonably easy. Valuation of inventories. Inventory valuation. As all of you are aware, first joke which every faculty starts with. If all of you are aware, now we Priyanka. So as all of you are aware, inventory is not a derived figure, it is an arrived figure. You take up any item of the financials, salary, machinery, building, everything, there is a journal, ledger, trial balance, balance sheet. Inventory, direct, yachda, akda. 31st March, physically verify ourselves, do the valuation and do it. And ES2 doesn't talk about the physical verification. It talks only about the valuation. Only valuation. Physical verification, you have to get into your maybe foundation, individually, how do you verify, perpetual inventory system in your costing, physical, what you call continuous stock taking, etc. Arthakta idea? Right. ಇವಳು ಅಂಜನಾ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಒಂದು ಅಂಗಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಂತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅಂಗಡಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲೊಬ್ಳು ಕಲ್ ತಗೊಂಬಂದಾಳೆ. ಏನ್ ತಗೊಂಬಂದಾಳೆ? ಈಗ ಅದು ತಿಂತಾಳೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಅದೇನ್ ಹೇಳ, ಏನದು ತೋರ್ಸೆ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ತೋರ್ಸೆ. ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ತರ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಲ್ಲು ಅಂಗಡಿ. ಏನೋ ಕಲ್ಲಂಗಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ವಾ? ದೀಪಿಕಾ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತದೆ? ತಿಂತಿದ್ದೆ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತಮಾಷೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ನೆನಪು ಬಂತು. ಅದೇ ಅದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ರವೀಶ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಕಳ್ಳ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸರ್ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದ ಶಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಓಪನ್ ಅಂತ. ಏನು ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದ ಶಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಓಪನ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತಿನ್ನಮ್ಮ ಏನ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕಲ್ಲಂಗಡಿ ಹೀಟಾ ಕೂಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬಾಡಿ?
Cool ಅಲ್ಲ sir?
Summer it is.
Cool. Everybody thinks so, which is not. Thank you. Okay. So ಎಲ್ರು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಹಂಗೆ. ನಾನು ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡು ಟೂರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದ, ಅಲ್ಲ ನವಗ್ರಹ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಏನೋ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ. ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂಪತ್ತು ತಿಂದಿದ್ದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 2-3 days ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ ಬಿಡಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? It is very, very heat for the body. Kalangadi is that watermelon is very heat. Normally there's a case which looks cool, no? They are very hot. They are very hot. They look cool. Okay. Understood, Harshvardhan? Ice cream heat a cool body ge.
Heat.
Heat. ಯಾಕೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಹಾಳಾಗಲಿ, ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್. ಅಪೂರ್ವ ಬೀಳಮ್ಮೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ನಾವು inventory valuation. How do you do the inventory valuation? Inventory is normally valued cost or NRV, whichever is less. What is cost? Refer cost sheet. Ditto. So cost sheet ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂತು? Material, direct labor, direct expenses. Yes. Factory overhead. Yes. Office and administration overhead related to production. Yes. Everything is a cost. Adanne query. If they ask a theoretical question, cost should consist of direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, then factory overhead, administration overhead related to production. Next, yes to continuous Aditi. Cost does not include ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕೆಳಗೇನಿದೆ administration overhead related to general administration overhead not included, selling and distribution overhead not included. So all those are excluded. First point. Cost means cost of purchase of the production. Conversion cost ಅಂದ್ರೆ cost minus direct material cost. So cloth has come to my factory. From the stage cloth has become a shirt. What is the cost involved in converting it into? That is basically direct labor and factory overhead. Understanding, Baba? Conversion cost important in your costing also for a margin costing, etc. Then, so cost of production or the cost of purchase plus cost of conversion plus very important other cost to bring it to present condition and location. Ganeshan Sureshan alla location do alla Deepika, condition and what? Location. Beautiful example. How many of you have seen toothpaste in life? Yes, sir. How many of you have eaten toothpaste? Etraga elru tidira. If you not eaten, it means you are not pasted anta. Right. Okay, lower that. Sak. Estitte sak. Right. So all of you asked me, I not eaten because when I was very young, now uralli ele use ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. That's why I not eaten. Now I have got sense alva. ತಿನ್ನಬಾರದು ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ವೇನ್ರ? ಇರ್ಲಿ ಸಾಗರ್ ಅಗ್ರಹಾರ್ ಹೇಳೋ. So other cost what? Anaga incidental to bring it to present condition and location. ಅವಳಿಗ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಟೂತ್ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕರಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದು ಬಿಡ ಹಂಗೆ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಸೊ ಟೂತ್ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಟೂತ್ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್. Then assuming you are putting 100 units in a box and sending it to Goa. Third packing. First packing, tube. Other than a small box, P2. Third one is what? Wooden box. Maybe you are exporting it to Goa, sending it to Goa. Tell me, out of these three packing, tube, the small box, and then the wooden box, you cannot imagine the product without which the packing.
Primary.
So primary packing. So primary packing.
Primary.
Tube is concerned. Can you imagine the toothpaste? Now think Lipika, early morning she gets up. So the shopkeeper next to her house, he keeps the toothpaste in a glass jar. She hinge ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು uncle 50 paisa toothpaste ಅಂತ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತೆಗೆದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. Second one. So that means that the tube is must. Did you imagine? Visualize karo. I know. Visualize karo. Correct. Second one. Imagine tube nahi hai. Tube bhi nahi hai. Can you imagine the toothpaste without the tube? Sorry, box or small box. So only tube hai. That's also difficult. Kyo bolo? 1,000 units of the tube you purchase and dump it in the godown, and you go and ask uncle, give me one 200 gram toothpaste and nagin. So the shape of that will be like bussanta. So you toothpaste bussanta banbitre dangerous alva. So that's why that secondary packing is also important. What is the secondary packing? The box. Whereas the wooden box, it's your marketing decision. Had you sold in Bangalore, wooden box was not required. So without which you cannot imagine a product is called other cost. So other costs without which you cannot imagine the product. So they are called cost. Cost of procurement Chaitra, then cost of conversion Chaitra, other cost incidental to bring it to present condition and location Chaitra. Artha aita? So all these are part of the cost. Everybody understood? That is ek taraf. Right? So NRV, selling price minus estimated selling expenses minus estimated cost of completion. This pen, I can sell it at, let's say, 100 rupees. For selling the same, I incur marketing expense 1 rupee. Net realized value which I can pocket is 19 rupees. Whereas if it is a work in progress, assuming as on 31st March, you have got only this much, this is not done. The work in progress. So, idu beda, idಕ್ಕೆ at least you mark ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ, assuming this much ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಗಿದೆ, refill. So, only this much you manufacture. ಶಾಪ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಂಕಲ್ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಪೆನ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ, ಅರ್ಧ ಶರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೋತೀರಾ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ರೆಡಿಗಾರು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬಟ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಹರ್ಷವರ್ಧನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಪೆನ್ ತಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಏನೋ. ಸೊ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಪೆನ್ as if it is complete. So the selling price is 25. If it is a complete pen, 25 minus 1 rupee, 24 rupees. Whereas if it is a work in progress, 25 minus 1, for completing this portion, you are spending 3 rupees. So NRV of the work in progress is 25 minus 1 minus 3. Artha aita devrige? Right. Raw material is normally valued at cost. Raw material is, because why are you bothered about the market value? You are not here to sell the raw material. However, if the raw materials selling price as well as finished goods selling price both have fallen from ka, then in that case you have to value the same only at a NRV. Artha agila Shruti, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. Raw material is normally valued at Saubhagya? Cost. But if NRV of raw material and finished goods both have fallen down, you have to value the same at a
NRV.
Problem of that. Next, cost or NRV, whichever less you have to do on an individual basis, not on total basis. So there are some incidental concepts which Arshita Chinmay knows. Very important definition.
Valuation is to valuation of inventories. Inventories are assets.
Inventories are
assets.
Assets. Make a circle for assets. Assets pakka barri AS26. What is an asset? And the definition AS26. The intangible alla. Asset pakka AS26 defines asset. Resource control by the enterprise based on the past event that we discussed in AS26. Assets are not defined in AS2. Intangible assets are not the only assets. Definition of asset is given in AS26. Artha aita?
Yes.
Inventory are the assets. Underline the word assets.
A, held for sale in ordinary course of business.
Nothing but finished goods.
B, in the process of production for such
Work in progress. And C, you see abrico.
Or in the form of material or supplies to be consumed in production process or rendering of services.
So they are nothing but if you look at the definition, see how to remember easily. Inventory definition is asset being finished goods, work in progress, raw material. ನಿಮ್ಮ FM ಅಲ್ಲಿ working capital management ಅಲ್ಲಿ you should have written these items in this order only. Raw material, work in progress, finished goods alla, because finished goods include raw material. Work in progress include raw material. End issue, right? Raw material. Nenapidya devru. So inventory definition eagle register. Inventories are assets. Finished goods ಬಗ್ಗೆ one sentence ಬರೆ. Work in progress ಬಗ್ಗೆ one sentence. Raw material ಬಗ್ಗೆ one sentence. Inventory definition. To the point, 1 mark. समझ में आ रहा है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Valuation. Inventories should be valued at lower of cost and net realizable value.
Valued at cost or NRV, whichever is less.
Five arrow marks. First, mainly for raw material, work in progress, and the finished goods.
So this formula is mainly for raw material, work in progress, finished goods. Next.
Second, Physical verification and valuation.
Physical verification, perpetual or continuous, left side. Perpetual or continuous. Costing right side, periodic. Once in a year you do, it's called periodic. Sunil, Madan, Sairishika, Rakshit, Lasya, Deep, Angela, Bhavya, Akshita, Rachana. Yeah, D Andre. Next.
Valuation. Lower of cost or NRV.
Loosely we call it an LCM. Even LCM on this Neha.
Lower.
Lower of cost or market value.
Lower of cost and market value. Next.
Cost formulae.
This is important. Foundation, friends. Govinda jeans pant.
Govinda jeans pant.
Govinda jeans pant. This pant legs at ankoli. So yellow, green, magenta, peach, etc. So backside, okay, so dark yellow, marine blue, something, nothing, whatever. So partially air conditioned jeans pant. How many of you will buy these kind of jeans pants? You may buy, I don't know, but model barbadi. So now this jeans pant, assuming you are manufacturing this pant specifically, Ravish has given an order. Jeans pant, go in the jeans pant. Specific identification method. You know this portion of the pant, yellow, 100 rupees. This portion green. This portion magenta, 300 rupees. This portion so like that. So what is the specific cost incurred for the same? Specific identification method. Whereas, assuming you are talking about a regularly dealing in blue jeans pant. Blue jeans pant. What is meant for Harshavardhan can be sold to Ravish. What is meant for Ravish can be sold to Prithviraj. What is meant for Prithviraj can be sold to Takshit. Agatteno size and Andkoda. So it's assuming, okay, it matches at the Andkodi. Then what should you do? Go by either fee for, hey, this is Rashid pant only. This is only for, why do you want to bother about it? You can go by FIFO. Please understand, FIFO does not mean physical movement. FIFO is only an accounting presumption that goods are moving in this order. Goods can go in any order. Like you are a dealer in tomato. Arshita comes to you and asks, so fresh tomato, fresh koda FIFO, old tomato itkondo hogo, matte nale ba ale tomato kodtini. Agata? That's not possible. So FIFO is only an accounting presumption. It is not physical movement of the goods. Artha Deepa? KP. Next.
Next.
Dolo.
Cost formula, FIFO or WAP, when goods are interchangeable, else specific identification.
So when the goods are specific 2 hours, when the goods are normally not interchangeable, which method?
Specific identification.
Specific. Very good, excellent. Specific identification method. Right side. When the goods are normally interchangeable, say size 32 blue jeans. Size 32 blue jeans pant. 2 hours. FIFO or weighted average. FIFO or weighted average. Left normally not interchangeable. Example,
Govinda jeans pant.
Everybody understood?
Yes.
Normally not interchangeable. Yeah. Next.
Last remark, cost finding techniques. Standard cost by bar RPM.
So either you can go by standard cost. Standard cost is nothing but predetermined per cost. RPM, retail price method. Say cost is equal to selling price minus margin. ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಟೇಲ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದೊಂದು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಯು ನೋ ದ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ MRP ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
ಅಥವಾ ಏನೋ ಋತ್ವಿಕ್ ಯುವರ್ MRP ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಬ್ರೋ. ಏನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾಳೆ MRP ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ಲೆಟ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಬಿ ದ ರಾಂಗ್ ನೋಷನ್. ಇದು MRP, I am an MRP, most respected person. Okay, right. So now when you talk about what is it? Retail shop, hundreds of thousands of items. How do I find out the cost? They say MRP tagodi. You know what is the margin in each product? 30%, 20% minus money. Selling price minus margin, that will give you additive but cost. Finding out the cost. Cost is equal to selling price minus margin. Next, very, very important. Production overhead only. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ selling and distribution overhead ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದೀರಾ ದೇವರು?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very, very important. Extremely important. ಓದೆ.
Production overheads only. Variable overheads absorbed based on actual production. Fixed
Underline
overheads,
variable overhead based on actual production.
fixed overheads normally based on budgeted production. When actual output is higher than the budgeted, then use actual production.
ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್. ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ಸ್. ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್. ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ಸ್. ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ಸ್. ಅದರ ಕೆಳಗೆ when actual production is lesser than or equal to budgeted, when actual production is lesser than or equal to budgeted, use a budgeted production. Right side. When actual production is greater, actual production is greater. Now do one thing. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಎರಡನ್ನ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್. ಯೂಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಏನಂತ? So when your actual variable overhead is always based on actual production. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? I have a shirt 2 meters. Salman Khan shirt 0 meter. Shirt ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ತರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So actual production will be variable. Whereas when it comes to fixed overhead, your actual output is more, go by actual output. If your actual output is lesser, you have to go by budgeted production. सबको समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All of you rename yourself correctly. There are some names. You may be non-cap, doesn't matter, but rename yourself. All of you, please rename yourself because we need to know who is in the class, who is not in the class. And photo is greater. It's okay. Photo is not important, but rename yourself correctly. D and who is D? Okay. Example.
Closing stock in units 100. Variable overhead 10 lakh. Actual production 11 lakh. 1 lakh. 1 lakh units. Budgeted production 2 lakh. Fixed overhead 5 lakh. Prime cost rupees 60 per unit. Answer 60 plus, open the bracket, 10 lakh divided by 1 lakh plus, open another bracket, 5 lakh divided by 2 lakh is equal to 72 lakh.
ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ? ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ is 60. Start with 60. Variable overhead ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 10 lakh rupees divided by what is actual production? 1 lakh. Variable overhead ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Fixed overhead ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? Production overhead
5 lakh.
5 lakh divided by budgeted production 2 lakh. So ಇದು ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್, ಇದು ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್, ಇದು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Next. Okay, right, continue.
Next, accounting for indirect taxes. AS2 exclusive of SGST bar CGST bar IGST.
Yeah. So it is an exclusive method. AS2 always follows exclusive method. Refer income tax notes recently concluded for the present batch. 145A always suggested
Income inclusive method.
next.
Raw material normally valued at cost, however, valued at NRV when NRV of finished goods and raw material is lesser.
When both are lesser, then only you have to value at NRV. Otherwise, raw material is always valued at cost. Next.
Disclosure. Accounting policy used. In almost every standard, write this as disclosure. Second, method of stock valuation. FIFO.
There are two methods. There are two methods. That means you have to disclose which you have followed. FIFO or which one you follow. Next.
Third, classification of inventories, raw material, WIP, etc.
Yes. Okay. Now come to your main notes book. Idon physical capital windows important. Physical and yeah. Page number 57. 57 but regular meter also have just to go through madake. Regular meter 57 alva.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this AS1 we already discussed mainly. So this is a special point. So I was telling accounting policies can be names of the subsequent standard. Inventory valuation AS2, cost or NRV, depreciation policy board AS6 or like depreciation policy AS10.
10.
Valuation of PPE AS10. You can write changes ಬಗ್ಗೆ discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Going concern equal consistency ಆಯಿತು. So what is prudence? Prudence is what? Provide for anticipated expense and losses, but do not provide for anticipated incomes and gains. Materiality is important in the context. Substance over form. Right. Next, inventory valuation. So inventory can consist of both the 6 items.
Inventory valuation. The inventories are assets held for sale in ordinary course of business. Oh, sorry. Inventories includes the following. First, raw materials and the components. Second, stores and spares, including machine spares. Third, work in progress. Fourth, finished goods. Fifth, loose tools. Sixth, intangible items of inventory, such as software held for sale.
Raw material, work in progress, finished goods, everybody knows. Stores and spares, including machine spares, ಅಥವಾ loose tools, hammers, etc. ಇರ್ಬೋದು. Intangible inventory ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Now, ಇದೊಂದು para I'm discussing at the end of the session tomorrow. Every standard says it is included in the scope, it is excluded in the scope. ನೆನಪಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. Common sense ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, if that item is specifically covered under other standard, why will they cover under this standard? For example, construction contract inventory is covered under AS7. Why should I bother about here? That's what they discussed. Okay. ಇದು ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಓದಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಓದಮ್ಮ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. This standard does not apply to ಓದಮ್ಮ.
Sir, this standard does not apply to work in progress arising under construction contracts AS7. Work in progress in the case of service providers, shares, debentures, and other financial instruments held as stock in trade AS13. And lastly,
so work in progress under construction contract within the bracket will be correct. Since it is covered under AS7. Since it is covered under AS7. Work in progress in case of service provider. Dito AS9. AS9 ಬರುತ್ತೆ revenue. Next, shares etc. held as a stock in trade of the AS13 ಬರುತ್ತೆ inventory. Investment. And this is important. Crucial one. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
Producers inventories of livestock, agricultural and forest products and mineral oils, ores and gases to the extent that are measured at NRV in accordance with well-established practices in those industries.
So, producers inventories of livestock, Bobo, agricultural and forest products, then mineral oils, etc., which are measured at NRV as per industry practice. For example, when you talk about a dealer in livestock, now it is normally valued at NRV. You cannot, what is the cost of thing? Bonus share bandre, so how do you, bonus share, I'm serious. How do you do it?
Example, if there are 100 items covered under this clause and say 80 items are measured at NRV in accordance with well-established practices in those industries, then AS2 is not applicable. But
if they are following it correct, 80 items are measured at NRV as per the industry practice, then AS2 is not applicable.
But AS2 is applicable on other 20 items.
Yeah, because 80 items matra Prithviraj are valued at as per NRV. Whereas 20 items get NRV is not applicable. That means you have to go by cost or NRV, which are less. Next.
Example, agricultural produce are normally valued at market price, whereas livestock as a current asset is not valued at NRV, as industry's practice is outside AS2, whereas livestock is covered under AS2.
Language. Agricultural produce are normally valued at the market price, whereas livestock as a current is not valued at NRV as industry practice. Full stop. Full stop. That will take up money. It means agricultural produce is outside AS2. They are valuing at NRV. Whereas, livestock is valued at,
NR.
as per AS2. As per AS2. Important point. Industry practice prakara, if you are valuing at NRV, chakde what you call AS2. Whereas if it is not valued at NRV, then you have to still follow AS2. Important point. Artha yes. Major points of inventory valuation, cost finder model, NRV, but a comparison model. The beautiful example. Is actually e box on the hashtag aki, mere tamadana box on the hashtag aki, cost of inventory, I will read, underline cost of purchase, conversion cost, other cost into present condition and location. Conversion cost is basically direct labor and production overhead. It basically means worst cost or cost of production. Worst cost is cost of production. So cost is equal to worst cost of production, cost of purchase, cost of conversion, other cost. NRV andreno selling price in the market minus estimated cost of completion minus estimated selling expenses. That completion is basically for work in progress. Adra pakka baridi. Cost of a shirt. Cost of a shirt 300. Cost of WIP, other stitching matra, full stitching agila. Cost of a shirt is 300. Cost of WIP 200. Below that, selling price is only for finished shirt, or complete shirt. Artha shirt in the market ali.
No.
So our akotare, yaro night 12 o'clock TV nalli. Yaro Prithviraj, poor people, FTL or BBD. So so market value is available only for complete shirt, the finished shirt. Say 400. Selling expenses 20. Full stop and continue.
Sir, selling expenses
20. NNT 20. Full stop. So 2 RMRs. 40 finished goods stock. 40 finished goods stock. under that 2 RMS. Cost ಎಷ್ಟು?
300.
300. Right side NRV ಎಷ್ಟು? 400 minus 20 ಇರಬೇಕು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Left side cost 300, right side 400 minus 20, 380. Connected and whichever is lassi. Lassi jaisi
Cost
koi nahi
300.
is equal to 300. So below that 40 units into 300. It's just units actually finished goods in 40 units into 300 is 12,000 P1. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದು ಥಿಯರಿ. ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸಮ್ ಈಸಿಯರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ದನ್ ದಟ್. ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ 50 WAP units. 50 WAP units. Underline 2 RMS. Cost ಎಷ್ಟು?
300.
200. Right side NRV underline beauty selling price as if it is finished good. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಧ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಗೆ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ದೀಪಕ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ದೀಪಾ? So selling price as if complete 400 minus selling expense 20 minus ಇದೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಂದಿರಿ ಅಂತ minus further cost of completion. ಇದು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ದೇವರು?
Yes, sir.
ಎಷ್ಟು? 100. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಗೆ 300 ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ 200, ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಯು ಇನ್ಕರ್ ಅದರ 100. ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್?
Yes, sir.
ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ 400 minus 20 minus 100 कितना आता है?
280.
राइट. सो वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस का कॉस्ट 200 होगा, एनआरवी 280 होगा, विच एवर इज लेस. ब्यूटी
Cost.
which ever is less is 200. So Fatima कितना होता है?
50,
Therefore
200.
50 units into 200
10,000.
10,000 P2. Therefore total inventory P1 plus P2 कितना होता है?
22,000.
Everybody understood Baba? ಇದು 5 mark question. ಇದು 5 mark question. Serious ಆಗಿ. Next very important. ಓದಮ್ಮ next para. Analytical question ಗೆ.
NRV is on balance sheet date. When there are two different markets, local and international, then closing stock has to be divided on proportionate basis and NRV to be applied respectively.
ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಲೋಕಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ 300, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ 500. Now I have got a same stock meant for local as international. So what is the proportion? Think normally 60% you sell locally, 40% internationally. So 60% has to be valued based on local NRV, 40% has to be considered as an international NRV. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Next.
Can closing stock of inventory appear in trial balance? Yes, whatever journal entry passed appears.
Very closing stock account debit to purchase account. Closing stock account debit to purchase. Yes. Head.
Is profit considered in value in inventory if NRV is lesser and the same is considered for valuation?
Very interesting question ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? Sir, we are valuing at cost or NRV which are less ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? NRV includes profit. NRV ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Selling price. Selling include profit. So can I say closing stock valuation also include profit? Yes or no?
No.
No, sir.
100% no, because you are saying cost or NRV less. So look at this. NRV includes profit. Other doubt illa. But are you not connecting to the cost left side? So that means if it loss case adra matra profit will never be included. You not understood Deepa? I repeat. NRV nalli profit ಇದೆ ಅಕ್ಕ. Cost 300 ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು?
300.
Selling price is 400 minus 20 selling expense 380 is your NRV. 380 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 80 rupees the profit. NRV include profit, no doubt about it. But how do you value 300 or 380, whichever is
Less.
next? Assuming selling price is 310, minus 20 rupees is the selling expenses. Again, NRV starts at 290. 300 or 290, whichever is lesser. That means when there is a loss, you consider 290. Artha is the Devrige.
Yes.
Yes.
Answer is 100% no. NRV never includes, sorry, valuation never includes.
No, because it is lesser of cost and NRV. Though NRV considers as selling price, which includes profit, which will be considered as cost if and only if it is lesser than cost.
Though NRV considers selling price, which include profit, comma, such NRV is considered only when it is lesser than the cost. Lesser than the cost. Artha ಆಯ್ತು ದೇವರಿಗೆ?
Yes, sir.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ example. Cost 300. Selling expense 20. Case 1. Selling price 400. Valuation. Left side cost 300. Right side NRV 380. Within the bracket, which includes profit. Other doubt includes DD profit of 80. Close the bracket. Connect and write, but whichever is less. How but Archita Bhatta? Whichever is less, Rahul Jain, 300. Utakta Jalasya, Ruchika, Pradeep, Saubhagya, Madan Reddy, Chana, Riyan, is equal to 300. Everybody understood, Baba?
Yes.
Yes.
Case 2. Selling price 310. Shruti. 2 RMRs. Cost 300. Sunil, understanding, sir? Cost 300. Right side, selling price, NRV. 310 minus 20. That's very hard. Chaitanya, Aditi. 310 minus 20, 290. Within the bracket, reading which has a loss. 300 ಗಿಂತ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು. Prudence again. Archita Bhatt. Close the bracket. Connect and write whichever is less. Whichever is less. 290. Dash right. Considers loss and not profit. NRV ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಇರಬಹುದು, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಮೈ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನೆ? ಅನಗ ಚಕ್ರವರ್ತಿ.
Yes, sir.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ABC ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಪ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಸಾರಿ ಚೂಡಿದಾರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 100, NRV 80. ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇದು ಟೋಟಲ್ 1800 ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ 1790 ವಿಚ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ರೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಲಿದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಯು ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್. ನಾವು ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಸರ್ ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಏನ್ ಸೇಮ್? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅತ್ತೆ ಮಗಳು ಇಬ್ರು ಸೇಮಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. 100 or 80 ವಿಚ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ 80, 500 or 510 ವಿಚ್ ಲೆಸ್ 500. ಸೊ ಫೈನಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂತಮ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? 1775. ದರ್ಶನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ would have been 1790. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೋಟ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ವಿಚ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಬಾಬಾ?
Yes.
Total not considered, apply individually. However, wherever possible, value individually, else in totality. If it is impracticable to do so on thought. You are a dealer in the screws and nuts. Wow, very good, Abba. Ille odid nino?
Very good.
Nande mistake. Alle bitbiಟ್ಟು ಹುಡುಗಿಯ. ನಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ. When you are a dealer in screws and nuts, one screw 2 ಪೈಸಾ, one NRV 3 ಪೈಸಾ, whichever less ನಮ್ದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೂ ಬೀಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆಗ ಯು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್. ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್?
Yes, sir.
ಇದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಸೇಮ್ ಗ್ಲಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. GST in accounts don't consider, we have discussed, does not include abnormal items, storage cost, general administration overhead ಅಂತ ಬರೀರಿ, general administration overhead etc. And interest on borrowing cost unless as per year 16, that is after ready to use. ಕೇಳಿ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಿ, before inventory is ready to use, it has to be added to the inventory. After ready to use Deepa, it has to be excluded from inventory. specific identification chart ಇದೆ, cost formula. Goods are normally not interchangeable. Go in the jeans pant. Others FIFO. Cost retail material the same story ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Go through ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. NRV of raw material is important, extremely important. Raw material valuation. Look at this beauty. ನಾನು ಓದ್ಲಾ please.
Sure, sir.
Cost of raw material 100. NRV 105. Hold on. Cost of finished goods 140. NRV finished goods. ಇದು solution ಇಲ್ಲಿ solution ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. First finished goods valuation ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Number 1. Next raw material valuation ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Cost or NRV whichever is less. ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ finished goods value? 135. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು cost or NRV whichever less cost ಇದೆ. Raw material is 100. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ? Easy. ಇದು again 5 marks, 1 more question. 5 mark question. Next ಇಲ್ಲಿ red ink ಅಲ್ಲಿ 80 ಬರಿ. Cost or NRV ಎಷ್ಟು red ink ಅಲ್ಲಿ 80 ಬಂತು ಅಂತ, but wait. 140 or 150 NRV of the finished goods ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ green ink ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ 150. Value first finished goods at cost, that means ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು this also at base cost. ಇದು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್, ಇದು NRV ಆದ್ರೆ it can be NRV ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಇದು 100 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಈ ನೋ ಡೌಟ್ NRV ಅಂತ ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಎರಡು ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೊಂದು ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿ. ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ NRV ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ NRV ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ವೈ ಡು ಯು ಬಾದರ್ ಚಿನ್ಮೈ? ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ವೆರ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ NRV ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ, ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ NRV ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ. ಬೋತ್ ಆರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಡ್ ಎಟ್ NRV. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ at cost. ಯಾಕೆ? NRV is higher. Second case ಅಲ್ಲಿ very important, ಬರೀ at cost. Since finished goods is valued at cost. Finished goods ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ದೊಡ್ಡಪ್ಪನೇ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಚಿಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ NRV ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Here both are at NRV. ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Valuation of raw material depends on the valuation of finished goods. If finished goods is valued at cost, NRV is valued at cost. If finished goods is valued at NRV, then raw material also may be valued at NRV if its NRV is lesser. Adre kelag bari elru. Raw material valuation 2 hours. Always normally cost. Raw material normally yavadalli martivi Priyanka? Cost alle martivi. Right side. Brought down to NRV. ಅಂದ್ರೆ NRV ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. ದೀಪಾ brought down to NRV only when NRV of finished goods is also lesser. Only NRV of finished goods is also lesser. Good. Almost same consistency maintain ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ till the end. What is raw material NRV? Replacement cost can be taken as NRV. Today if I replace, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ raw material market ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೇನಕ್ಕೆ you can take replacement cost. Today if I replace, what may be the cost? That will be called NRV. ಇದು ಓದಿ ಆಯ್ತು. When 2 or more options given, compulsory test to disclose ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. FIFO, weighted average, SLM, merger or purchase method. Manufacturing overhead ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಲ್ಲ. Variable overhead based on actual production, fixed overhead. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cash flow statement regular class allo ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. Cash flow statement ಕಾಣ ಒಂದು 5 minutes ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು we have done it in detail, just touch and leave. Cash flow statement AS3 ಇದು ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನಾನು. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. Cash flow statement is the statement explaining the movement of cash and cash equivalent. Cash means cash in hand and demand deposit with the bank. Cash equivalent means short-term, highly liquid investment subject to insignificant risk of changes in value. The cash flow statement is nothing but existing balance sheet and P&L represented under 3 RMRs: operating, investing, financing. Investing cash flow means mainly assets on the balance sheet. Any cash flow related to the acquisition and disposal of the long-term assets and other than cash equivalent. Financing on the liability side of the balance sheet. Anything related to the change in size of composition of a owner's equity and borrowings of the enterprise. What is operating? Principal revenue producing activity and other than ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಿನಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅದೇ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೊಂದು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ದನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ FD ಅಂಡ್ ಲೋನ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಇದು ಈಸ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಡ್ ಇದೆ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇಕ್ವಲೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಶೋನ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ CFS. In case of an investing or the financing business, A and B above, that means banking institution, loan taken, loan given, everything will become what? Operating activity. Types of operating cash flows, types of cash flow statement alla operating cash flows. Direct approach is para 18A, received minus payment. Indirect approach is working back techniques, right? Para 18 and 80 were not methods of CFS. They are only the method of reporting operating cash flows. Exchange fluctuation ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ AS11 ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಗೇನ್ ಅನ್ನ at the end of the CFS ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು? End of the CFS. So can I net off the transaction when the voluminous transactions are there of small amount, ಅಥವಾ transaction is with the same party? You can net off voluminous transaction, small amount, stock broker, thousands of transactions ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ನೀವು 100 lakh FD ಇಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಅದರಿಂದ 80 lakh ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಲೋನ್ ತಗೋತೀರಾ, ನೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಬಹುದು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ರೈಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿಟೇಲ್. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಇದು ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ನಾಳೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ನೋಡೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಈ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಲೋನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ, ಲೋನ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಫಿನಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. Interest loan received is a investing activity, paid is a financing activity. For a financial enterprise, all of them will become operating activity. Dividend received is an investing activity for a financial investing enterprise, operating activity for financial. Reading kali, dividend paid is always financing. Okay? Because it's always on share capital. Yes? ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
Yes sir.
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ ನಾನು ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕು. We'll discuss tomorrow. So all of you enjoying?
Yes
sir. So we'll be doing some problems tomorrow on almost all the group 1 standards. ಮಾತ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾಳೆ. So group 2 ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? So revision class, those who are not there at the beginning ಅಥವಾ those who are not attended, it happens in 3 stages for accounts. Already ಒಂದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ? 31 ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್. ಅದು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾಳೆ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ಪ್ಲೇ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಂಡ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾಳೆ 10 o'clock ಶಾರ್ಪ್. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ 10 to 2:15 ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 15 minutes ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ nevertheless tomorrow if the time permits, those topics which are covered earlier in the exhaustive standard, all that also I'll just brush through in half an hour, 1 hour. Okay, all those, what is hire purchase, what is loss of profit, everything I'll just touch it and leave it. Already revision agogide. Artha aita? Okay. Adu nama YouTube caps YouTube terminal already ide adu. Those who have missed it. Otherwise also tomorrow group list ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. So thanks to YouTube viewers also. Mast maja ಮಾಡಿ. God bless you all. Enjoy.